behind the scenes already.
There's no llamas. No llamas were harmed.
Not that I thought of. No.
Making this podcast.
Not yet. We'll see what happens in the next hour.
We might choke a few. They won't be hurt though. They'll just temporarily uncomfortable.
I hope
That's
so.
what it sounds like too. It looks like it says word balloon LNE balloony or un ivy. Looks like it could be an U or LNE.
People are gonna gonna say something about, oh no, like they forgot their audio on, but we know it's on. We know we're here.
We know it's on.
We know it's here. But this is just like the backstage stuff, so we're just gonna pretend no one can hear us.
I'm on a side stage. It's not even the back. It's on the side. It's like ketchup and mustard. Yeah, it's like a little relish on the side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think
barbecue sauce on the side.
I think it's time. Might be time.
I could be smothered with it too, because you want to smother that Harold's chicken with hot sauce.
On that note. I totally screwed that one up, didn't I?
We have
fun though.
1.5 introductions.
I know. One more time. This is what happens. This is what happens when you leave me in charge, you know. This is what happens.
It's live right now.
It's live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to 224. See, now I know what to call them. Hey, there we are.
Hi. Hello. Welcome to the Nausea podcast.
Now I know which episode it is because I write it on the card and I can see it. So
you can keep track now. Yeah.
Yeah. Before I was up to like number 380 something till then. So
I did repeat a few. And some of them were reruns. So I don't know. It could be. You could be up to 300 by now.
Could
Guys,
be.
The stream is thick. It's
real thick stream.
thick with two C's.
Yeah.
THICC.
Yeah.
Good evening to Deep Red.
Good evening, Deep Red.
It's true. We have people. Others may be joining us, but maybe not. He 100% didn't hear the green room. Okay, that's good.
No, it was all secret stuff. You weren't supposed to hear that. That was secret stuff.
I like that Artie is coming from the Antarctic because he's very cold.
Yeah, it's very cold in my house. We have the air conditioner cranked up, and well, it's comfortable everywhere else, but in my art studio, the air blows right on me directly. So I gotta stay warm. It hurts.
Nice. And Skoka's coming from his backstage back room, I think.
He's here too. He's upstairs.
This is
he's upstairs.
I'm in your house. I'm in
behind
your
you.
Yeah. He does. That hat looks warm too.
It is. Everything about me is toasty right now.
I like it because with the headphones on, you look like you have earmuffs on. So
I do. I
like it.
They're not even useful. They're like headphones. They're keeping my ears warm. That's mostly what they're for. I wear them even when I'm not listening to stuff. You know?
just have them on all the time.
Mm-hmm. Keep the ears warm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think we're starting already. So Anthony says the Suicide Squad better fear for their box office with a brand new. Oh yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true.
Oh, we're competing with them now, right?
Yeah.
I heard it was good. People like it.
You haven't seen it yet?
No.
It's been out. Oh, hi. Oh, yeah, Jillian. How are you? Hi.
Oh, I know her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's been out for less than 12 hours. How could you have not seen it?
Do you have to pay to watch it?
No, it's
one of those premiums.
Well, do you have Hubomax?
I do.
It's free.
It's
free on the Hubomax.
I have to watch that in my living room because somehow I logged in to it with a password and all that, and I don't know what it was, but it worked. And I try to log in on my computer, and nobody knows what it is, so it can only be viewed on my TV. But I don't watch TV in the living room anymore because I got too much things to do. And when I'm awake, I'm usually working, and it hurts right now. I should be sleeping. I've been awake for many, many hours, way past anything that anybody should be awake for. And I know that after staying awake, but it's just 16 hours past 24 hours. That's what my policeman friend said. He said it's like drinking a 6-pack of beer. You're that drunk. So I'm probably at that point, even though all I did was stay awake. That's probably why I'm cold.
So this is drunk Artie?
Yeah, but without alcohol. It's just you have to you just have to stay up all night. Oh yeah, Julianne.
Oh, I miss you too, Julianne. Thank you so much.
She's awesome. She has a hyphen Burns now.
That's she got married, I believe.
Is she married now?
Yeah.
Is she Mrs. Julianne now?
I believe so. Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
What have you been working on?
So what has Drunk Art been working on?
I finished one of my Super Pet books today, and I needed to get it done, and it's finished. I only have 2 left, and I finished Beppo the Super Monkey with Superman and Lex Luthor in it. It's really cool, and I'm working on. I got 2 more to do before September 17th. So hopefully after September 17th, I will be doing more live streams. I'll be back doing more drawing shows. Because right now, every waking moment, I can't do that. I got things to do. But I have opportunities that are coming across my path, my lap, my path. Yeah. They're coming across me where I can't say no because I'm thinking, man, that would be cool to do that. So I can't say what they are yet, but sometime in September, I should be working on all of my characters. And this was just something added to me yesterday, which is kind of cool. And I'm trying to free up my schedule, but then I get something added. And you know what I did? I said yes. Why did I do that? But now but the good thing about it is it's my own stuff. So we'll see.
I don't know. You say yes because I don't know, house, roof over your head. Food,
I have to do things.
I don't know why you say yes to stuff.
Mm-hmm. I have to do stuff, but I'm hoping it gets a little easier. It will. Every day gets a little easier, but it just have to get there. Just have to get Monday through Friday is tight, man. It's every moment is staying home, sitting down, drawing.
Anthony was asking if that was a Woody Woodpecker behind you in the background, and it is, I believe. It is.
He's right there. Yeah.
We did a pitch for that years ago. I remember.
Yeah, we almost had that Woody Woodpecker for comics.
Yep.
I don't know what happened. It dissolved away from us, but we had it, and then we didn't.
I know. I did a whole bunch of drawings for it at one point.
Yeah, we worked on stories. It was right before Wolf Boy came out, or maybe around that time. And but this Woody, I won him at a carnival, and this is the new design based on when we were going to do it. So his hair is back, and his beak is pointier, and his feathers are back. But my daughter loves this Woody Woodpecker because in Stranger Things, when they went to the carnival, I think in the new series, the new season, one of the kids won this woodpecker. And then when she saw it down here, she comes down and hugs him. And she goes, "This is from Stranger Things." And I didn't know that until I watched it with her. And so that's why he's cool again. See, he's relevant once again. Yes.
Do you recall what game it was you were playing when you won that?
It was one of the ones you throw the ball, something like that. It might knock down the pins. It was one of those It was one of those Six Flags games. Wasn't like an arcade or digital, whatever they call flippers. I was throwing something. Rings, maybe? Yoko Chips. Here he is.
Yoko.
I was just sending you a link
Chips.
on emails.
Please do, because I'm on my phone.
I just did.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to transfer.
I just sent it.
Okay, great. All right, I'll come back. Goodbye.
Yay! He's coming back.
Yoko Chips. Yoko Chips. Yeah.
He was texting me, and I'm like, "Oh, it's there."
Did you have something in mind Skulk, about the game?
No, I was just curious about what the game might have been that you were so skilled at that you were able to win this prize, because those carnival games are not easy.
No, I don't know how I won it, but I did. And,
I'm gonna guess it was a game about drilling holes in wood.
It might have been. You know what it might have been is a water gun game. I used to play them when you shoot the clown in the mouth and the balloon blows up. It was probably one of those, or a horse racing one. I would do those. I know I would shoot the water gun once. So I won a big Woody. I did.
Oh yeah, Big Woody.
I
loved Suicide Squad. Wayne really loved with Suicide Squad, I think.
Effin loved.
You should watch it. And then I prefer Woody Woodpecker in comics because I don't have to hear his voice as Deep Red.
Oh, I like his voice.
I have one of those things. You ever have one of those? I think I mentioned this way back on the pod way back when, but you ever have one of those things that kind of like makes you physically ill when you see it, or like a smell or something like that? I have that associated with a Woody Woodpecker cartoon. I was really ill, like not feeling well, kind of nauseous and stuff like that. I remember watching a Woody Woodpecker cartoon. It was the one where he and Buzz Buzzard are on an island, and there's an octopus that kisses Buzz Buzzard, and it makes the plants wilt and turn brown. Gray. Yeah, it turns gray, and I was sick, and I watched that, and then I was like, and I blew chunks. I threw up watching that. So now every time I see that or think about that, I get.
I feel that way when I see Virgil at the shows. I get sick to my stomach. I'm like, I gotta, I gotta get out of that area. Yeah, that's usually what happens.
When I'm around the Verjunt, I feel.
Yeah, the Verjunt. If it's in a jar, well preserved, I could admire it.
Yeah,
it's not so.
Well, I made something that might make you potentially sick, or it might give you the goosebumps. Remember when we were talking about our secret crushes on our last show?
Uh-oh.
I almost made something, but I made something specifically for Skoke. So here, this is for everybody. I made this for Skoke because this is his secret crush, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
I am the Hulk. Yeah.
I slipped a little bit on that last pod. I said my number one was Genie from I Dream of Genie.
Yeah.
And then I said I used to watch that show during the summers. In the morning it would come on. And then I said, so it was always Genie and then the Hulk, Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean that those were my crushes in that order.
That's the top two, yeah.
Genie, then ferrigno.
You specifically said we were talking about crushes, and that's what you specifically said.
It was too late. It was out. I had already said it. It was done.
Did you remember the episode where he wore the slippers when he was running around New York City?
Yeah. Well, you can't blame him. New York City is horribly dirty. You're going to run around barefoot.
I remember when that girl got out of the taxi cab and I almost threw up because she put her shoes on the ground and then stepped out of the taxi barefoot, and I almost died.
What show is this?
Heckin'. I remember that.
The Incredible Hulk, the Bill Bixby.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the episode. That's an awesome episode. I love that episode.
Yeah, but he's wearing slippers. During that episode,
the Hulk is wearing slippers, or
yeah.
If you look closely, he's wearing green slippers. Yeah.
You could see it now, real good in HD.
Can you? I'm not gonna run around on that stuff. Are you clear? Yeah. Who would want to be barefoot on a New York street?
Not me, man.
Yeah. Who takes their shoe off in the middle of the street and then walks around like that? I don't know anybody like that.
That's a good Lou Ferrigno. I like that one.
Thank you.
It's almost like shoe coffee or something.
Oh, yeah.
I had my shoe coffee this weekend.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Were you in a hotel?
Was that terrific?
Oh, you guys were in Terrificon.
Yeah. Tell us, how was that?
Was it me?
It was good for me. I got some interesting stories, so it's going to be fun.
Any nudity?
Francis and I and Yvette saw each other Thursday night, and then I got busy, and I really couldn't hang for the rest of the week. I did. And I felt bad, but I'm also like, it's, I mean, again, Terrificon, there's only one chair. Brother Bear is like, every time I come by, completely like spread out, kind of like Starro in Suicide Squad. And that's fine. And then, Yvette would come and he'd get up and let Yvette sit. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to be like the third guy, fighting for one chair. And I'm
Plus
like,
it's real warm when
fine.
it gets up.
And I really needed to sit down a lot. So
Hi, Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Yeah, we all have facial hair.
It's true.
This is the deadline beard. It just stays on because I forget.
I'm so ready though to shave. I really am.
Are you?
I'm getting tired of the whiskers like flying up your
Opening
nose.
your nose?
Hey Johnny, in this
how
light,
far I can get it.
yeah, in this light with your beard being so white in this light, it looks like you almost don't have a beard.
I know. I thought you were gonna say, in this light with your beard so white, could you guide my sleigh tonight?
Oh, maybe.
I would never make a Santa joke about you, Johnny.
That
All
nose,
right.
that nose.
I don't mind. Dominic the Donkey, chickadee ching.
Dominic.
I've never heard of that until I heard it on Gilbert, and I said Francis Dominic the Donkey, and he immediately said chickadee ching. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's got to be an East Coast thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. In Chicago, we just got grandma got run over by a reindeer all the time.
My grandma.
All the
Grandmama.
time.
I hate that song. Never
So
liked
do
it.
But I like Snoopy's
So-
Christmas with the Red Baron. That's a good one.
Snoopy Christmas?
Yeah, that's the sequel to the Red Baron song.
I don't know.
Sloopy, hang on.
Snoopy.
Yeah, I know, but where did that song Sloopy come from? Was that supposed to be Snoopy? Because for years before we had the internet and we could look up lyrics, I thought it was Snoopy, hang on, but then it was Sloopy.
Sloopy.
And
I don't know.
who names their kid Sloopy?
That guy did.
He did that song, and he did Rick Darrington. He also did Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. Rock and roll Hoochie Coo. Rock and roll.
Well, maybe he was trying to slip his Sloopy into the Hoochie Coo or something.
I don't know.
Coochie.
You want to start with the Terrificon story? I got
Yes.
weird stories.
I want to hear these.
Yeah, my favorite one has to be when Johnny, Yvette, and I were walking around, and actually prior, I got a story about prior to that, but we're walking around and we hear this music, and in Mohegan Sun they have right in the center of one of the casinos they have what's called the Wolf Den. And it's an amphitheater. It's an open amphitheater where they have a band playing. So we're walking around talking, and I said, "Oh, there's a band playing. Let's go see what's at the Wolf Den." And there's a band doing a really good rendition of that song "Turn Up Your Radio," right?
From the mid '80s, yes.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, wow, this band is like they're pretty good, for
very good.
For a cover band, they're covering this song. It's a pretty good version. I even said that to Johnny. I said, and he goes, "Who is this band?" And then, like, the song ends, and they're like, "Thank you, we are Autographed," the actual band that sings the song.
Oh, the real band.
Yeah, the real band.
That's why it sounded good.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty good.
It was like that. It's like that Simpsons episode with Mr. Burns Casino, where the main event is a Moody Blues tribute band, and opening for the tribute band is the Moody Blues.
Yeah,
and it's that's right, because it's like oh yeah, this is a really good song, and apparently it was their encore, so they ended with their big hit, and it's I didn't know the song, but I'm like, it sounds like a typical Triumph for a hair band from the '80s, and I'm like, no, this is really good. I mean, Loverboy, somebody like that, and it's like, thank you, good night, and this giant logo Autograph. And he's like, "Hey, that's who did the song.
That's the band.
That's the actual band." But you got to tell them the real funny part of the story is that was our encore. Thank you, good night. I look at my watch and it's literally 9:39 p.m. and the audience is filled with old people, and they end their session because everybody's got to go to sleep. Apparently,
Yeah,
all right, take your pills and go to sleep. Night. We're done. Good night.
Sorry to keep you out late.
Exactly. Oh, thank God. I was getting worried that we were going to be here until 9:45.
Drinks coffee.
There's a guy walking out. "Hey, Mary, that was a pretty good song. I remember when it was on the radio."
They're playing our song, honey. Exactly. But it's
no after party for that one.
I mean, it's coming on 40 years for this song. So, I've said this before. It's like I used to, not laugh at my father, but just I would observe. I'm like, wow, it's the early 80s or late 70s. He's really into big band music still. And it's like, yeah, I've become my father because all the songs I listen to are from my childhood, and it's all 70s and 80s music. So it's like 50 and 40 years ago. And I'm like, I've become my father.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a footnote. Oh, sorry, Artie. A footnote to this story is before we met up with you, Johnny, my wife and I were walking around the casino, and you know how you people watch, and there's this guy who's dressed out like in this vest with really like I forgot he had some huge patch on the back of his vest, and he had cowboy boots and long hair, and he's walking through the casino with his girlfriend. His girlfriend's dressed in like these really loud neon colors, you know. And I said to my wife, I joke with her. I said, check out the way this guy's dressed. I said, don't worry, I'm with the band. You know, joking around with her. It turns out he was the bass player of the band.
Yeah,
for Autograph. It was actually him. I said to Yvette, I said, look, that's the guy we were making fun of in the casino.
Actually, is the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. No, that was good. Yeah, we were having a late night coffee because we wanted to stay up past 9:30.
9:30.
So
That's right. You have to have coffee.
So yeah, we're drinking coffee, and I love when I go to Starbucks. I always get an ice water as well because it's always filtered water. I learned that when I was an assistant manager at Starbucks. Nice. It's always really like good tasting water, ice cold, And I'm like, I'm gonna hang out on my giant venti or Trenti cup and everything, and it still had water, and I was gonna like sip it and stuff. And just as we're leaving, it literally slips through my hands. Doosh! Massive spill all over our table, all over the floor.
It didn't really slip. You kind of smashed it with your hand, Hulk style.
Did I?
And then it spilled. Well, in my mind, this is what happened. You went rage. You hit it, and then it spilled end over end, hit the edge of the table, spilled on the floor, and went all the way across the floor into the casino.
Oh yeah!
People over there playing mahjong are like, what the ice? Where'd this ice come
wet shoes?
And Starbucks was like closing up the way they do when they're in a mall and they put up the glass wall with the partitions.
Well, we were sitting right next to it where this 20-something-year-old kid is coming out, bringing out these walls with right behind us, and I'm like, what's happening? Everything's closing up.
And that's the other weird thing is like what places are open late at a casino, because I am kind of used to Vegas where
nothing
Johnny
closes.
Vegas and everything.
Well,
right,
I found out later from Mitch, because I hung out with Mitch after that because of COVID they close everything down early because there's a shortage of people working.
Oh no!
Or else at the casino everything's open. Like Starbucks is open till like 2 a.m. Johnny Rockets is open 24 hours. Krispy Kreme's like everything's open till like 2 a.m. except everything.
So they pump in oxygen in that casino?
That's always the rumor. I don't know if it's true or not.
Because last time I was there, it smelled like they were pumping cigarette smoke into the place.
There's no more smoking.
They get the wrong tank.
Yep.
Sorry.
It smelled last time I was there. You couldn't go a certain place.
That's the secondhand smoke tank, not the auction. Sorry.
Everybody's coughing.
It was much cleaner because they banned the smoking. Everybody was smoking outside. My wife said I went outside to get a breath of fresh air. Everybody was smoking.
I did the same thing.
Because last time I went, it was about 2 years ago, maybe. Last time I went.
Oh, yeah, 3 or 4 years ago.
It was 2019. I got a story about that. Go on.
It felt real claustrophobic because we go to the hotel and then you eat inside there and you go to the convention for 3 days and you never see the daylight. And so I felt really weird after a while. I had to go walk outside. But that was a few years ago, though. I can't remember now.
Well, regarding 2019, I had Mark Guggenheim on the show yesterday.
The Goog, yeah.
And I was saying, I go, dude, the last time we saw you, it was me, you, and Artie in the limo driving back from Terrificon.
Did he remember me?
Absolutely. And he goes, cool. and I'm like, and you were telling us, what details you could about the big CW Crisis crossover.
Yeah.
And we're both like, oh, wow. Oh, and you're trying to get Burt Ward? Oh, and you're trying to get this guy or that guy?
I told him a whole bunch of Superman stuff that he ended up doing anyway. Did he mention that? Did he get me closer to meeting Vince Gilligan? That was our big thing. Because he said I looked like him. That's what he told me.
Your involvement ended with the Crisis crossover. I went on because he and I also talked about our favorite 80s spy show, Wise Guy. That was like Donnie Brasco.
We talked about that on the bus, too.
He's a big Wise Guy fan.
That was Kevin Spacey's breakthrough role, right?
Right. Yeah, he was in the second story arc with the very beautiful Joan Severance.
Yeah.
I went to watch that. I started watching that show with you on there with Guggenheim, and then I had to do something. I pressed pause and it came back, and then you were on another pod. And I was wondering. I know that. Yeah, you were talking about time that Twilight Zone or something. And
it wasn't Twilight Zone. It was me
with
and Gabe Hardman.
Yeah,
Gabe was in black and white, and we talk.
Yeah, he's cool now. He wears his suit in black and white.
We talk about live TV.
He's on the war.
That's the Kinescope show that we're doing.
Johnny's on another podcast right now, actually, while we're doing this one.
Yeah, because I watch your stuff. I come back, I press pause so I don't miss. I come back and I see you're on there again. I'm like, wait a minute. I just got to watch this one first.
Yeah, from the waist down, I'm on a foot fetish podcast right now. So my feet are being prominently.
A Verjunt fetish.
A Verjunt fetish site.
As long as it's in a jar preserved, I'm okay with it.
Did that just say Billy Corgan was watching us?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Billy, is he watching us for real?
I used to see Billy at our radio station, WXRT. He used to hang out all the time.
I saw him in concert once singing at the Smart Bar. Was it?
I'm going to be at Wrigley Field next Sunday, and the bill is Green Day, Weezer, and Fall Out Boy.
Oh, cool.
Are you performing, Johnny?
I'm my feet are opening again. More foot.
Are they gonna finish at 9:30 also?
Johnny's got to go to bed.
It's getting late, guys. Because if they're all our age,
I think it's an afternoon show. So don't worry.
The show ends at 9:30. The encore goes till 9:39.
No, we're gonna probably finish at 4:30 so we can catch the early bird specials at all the restaurants and everything. We're gonna go to Denny's.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's not dinner.
Heel spurs. They got one guy wearing a boot on stage because his legs hurt. I know. Exactly.
My legs hurt, and that's another reason why I'm like, all right, I'm going to slow everybody down. On Friday, I saw Yvette, and we were walking to the show, and my I don't know why my legs were sore, and I'm just like, I felt bad. I'm like, Yvette, can you slow down? And she really gave me this like look of alarm, like, are you all right? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but go ahead.
She's like, I don't know if I can get a 911 signal in here to call an ambulance if I need to. That's what she said to me later.
I didn't have my life alert tag on me.
My dog's barking.
And I can't get up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yoko Feet, sponsored by Quentin Tarantino. He likes the feet, doesn't he? That Tarantino guy.
Tarantino, does he like feet? I don't know. I like feet. I like when John Turturro says that.
I like the feet.
Mr. Deeds. I like feet.
I like feet.
Yeah, change your socks for you, sir.
No thanks.
But all right, so as always, every convention there's a very weird bathroom story.
Yeah, I need to hear it.
And this year is no exception.
Did you have a roommate bathroom or a roommate hotel party?
No, it didn't happen in the hotel. It was near the panel rooms. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I ate. I have a feeling because I had for breakfast in the morning, I thought, oh, what an economic deal. They give you so much. I opted for the corned beef hash. Yeah. So, everything went fine until, So, I don't know what the deal was, but I really, for the majority of the afternoon, the washroom near the panels became like my private bat cave. But apparently not so private.
Did you spray or pinch, Johnny?
I didn't want to get that graphic, but I'll tell you, no, everything was, everything was contained. Let's just leave it at that. It really isn't about my personal issues. It was because I had to spend so much time dealing with them in the washroom that I would get occasional random other people that would walk in. And I'm in a stall.
This is in your hotel room? Oh, in a stall. Okay.
This is the men's room that are adjacent to the panel rooms.
Hey, how's it going, Sun Chips? Good.
So no one can see you or anything. In space, no one can see you scream.
Johnny was doing another panel in there. Nobody knew about.
But I have no idea. I never saw these people. I only heard them individually. But one guy comes in and literally is like, he gets in and you hear him close the door. And he's like, well, good afternoon. And he's making these weird noises and doing this commentary as he's taking care of his issues. And I'm just like, is he coaxing himself to get it out? I don't really know. But he's like, how you doing? Hello. And
nice
you didn't know, but he's a fan of your foot fetish. That's what it was. He saw your feet under the stall.
Yeah, literally, he's kind of broadcasting his moment, and I'm just like, you're not getting graphic or anything like that, but just hey, how you? Yeah. And then so I thought because one of the panels that I did, was with Paul Kupperberg, and we showed this amazing 1988 video, VCRs, that Julie Schwartz made, and it was this slide presentation he used to travel with during 1988, the 50th anniversary of Superman. And it's great. It has a ton of these photos, and he's explaining who everybody is, and it's all not only people who worked for DC at the time or National, but sci-fi writers of the time that he's like, hey, they actually did give us input on Superman. And here's Albert Bester, the guy who created the Green Lantern in Brightest Day and Blackest Night chant. Alfred Bester created that for Alan Scott. And here's Jack, God, I can't remember his name. I want to say Albertson, but that's the old man from Chico and the Man, so it's not Jack Albertson. Chico. Stay out of my garage. Jack Williamson. But he's showing all his pictures. But it's literally, it's like a 50-minute video. And I kind of knew I had to take care of issues even during the summer. It would be wise to get up when the lights are off and this long movie is playing.
I need a stall. I need to change into my costume.
So literally, I tell Paul, I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to. And then in my always, because I always say, I don't say the bathroom. I always say washroom. I'm sorry, I need the washroom.
I have to go spray.
So yeah, so I went, and so then so I get the one guy while I'm in there during that point. Good evening, and then again after the panel, I'm like, I better continue to take care of business because it's still that corned beef hash will not let go.
What is it? Jimmy called it snapping off a monkey tail. You have to do that, John?
I didn't want to do that, everybody, but it's okay. It's fine. You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm talking about bathroom stuff, so it's cool. But Andy's seen the slideshow. That's awesome. Not to be confused with my issues in the washer. I remember that slideshow. Scheisse video.
I like this story because then I text Johnny because I'm concerned. I haven't seen him for a couple of days now, right? So I haven't seen him for a couple of days. I'm concerned. I'm like, is he alive? Is he dead? Like, what happened? And he tells me, he's got these issues, and I'm like, all right, well, be better, get better, and I'll see you tomorrow. And then you text me the next day and you said, I feel better. I had some quesadillas and chili from room service.
No, I'm like, chili. I did not. I said, well, no, because they tell you you've got to. Because I looked at it. Well, first of all, I was worried. I'm like, holy shit, I got COVID. I'm like, it's got to be COVID.
That's what
and
it does.
I was really worried. But I went home and I drank a lot of water and I really slept because Artie, vampire hours plus going to the East Coast. Our brains are still wired for an hour behind. So
I'm still wired from last Wednesday.
There you go. So really, I slept, got back to the room, fell asleep for most of the late afternoon into the early evening, and I felt well enough. And I'm like, all right, and then I did. I had quesadillas, and they were fantastic, and they didn't come back, so that was good. So clearly, I was beyond my issue. And I did. I mean, I really thank God. Monday morning, I woke up and felt 100% better. And but everything.
Then the show's over. Then.
Right. Yeah, I know. I know.
You suffered through it.
Well, but also a fun thing that I did for the panels on Sunday morning before the issues kicked in. I had a panel at 10 o'clock local time or 11 o'clock local time. It was George Newbern who played Superman. And I've got to look up Maria's name. Maria's got an awesome name for it. But Hawkgirl from Justice League. Maria, 3 names.
Yeah.
Maria Canales Barrera, I believe. And I was going to have them, because, back in the fall, when we did last year, when we did Baltimore Con, I had Susan Eisenberg and George do scenes from Kingdom Come. And it was a table read. So it was great.
I remember that.
Wonder Woman. Mark Waid narrated. It was fantastic. So I'm like, well, and originally Susan was going to show up, but she was worried about the Delta variant and was planning on
Burt variant.
Yeah, and was planning on visiting her dad after the con because he's on the East Coast as well. And she's like, I haven't seen my dad in 2 years. I'm like, go see your dad. So she canceled, going to the. I'm like, nobody blames you. I'm like, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it. So I just said Maria and George. And I'm like, okay, Superman, Hawkgirl scenes. So I went through literally every season of Justice League, just kind of scanning. And I'm like, no, darn it. And I'm like, there's got to be something they can perform. So I had to call our favorite Superman expert. I could have called you, Artie, but I don't know if you would have known this. Can you think of a comic where it was only Superman and Hawkgirl?
I would have had a right one real quick for you.
There you go.
You know?
I honestly was
right
thinking
scene.
about that as well, or changing a scene and making it a Hawkgirl instead of Superman. But on a lark, back probably the Wednesday before the show, I emailed Mark Waid, everyone's favorite Superman expert.
You're gonna get an answer from him. Yeah.
And I'm like, Mark, there will be a way to hear the comic reading. Don't worry, Brad. It's going to be on a word balloon in a few days.
Can't wait.
So yes, that's true, Andrew. Mark Nodell, Chicago's very own, not only created the Alan Scott Green Lantern, but also for
Pillsbury.
For Pillsbury, the Pillsbury Doughboy.
I didn't know he's from Chicago.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, you worked here for a really long time.
Nice.
I have a sketch of Alan Scott that Martin Nodell did for me before he passed away. Well, anyway, so I emailed Mark within an hour. You came to the right place. DC Comics presents number 34 from September of 1981. Here's the PDF. I'm like, and not only that, so it's literally 40 years old, which is great.
Awesome.
So it's the 40th anniversary of the story. Plus, it was plotted and drawn by Jim Starlin, and Jim was at the show.
Cool.
So I'm like, this is excellent. So I just did the first half of it. I'll tell you about the story in a second. But I see Starlin in the green room. We're having coffee and we're talking. And I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to do this panel with the Justice League people, and we're going to perform one of your comics, DC Comics Presents. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And I go, do you want to? I go, you want to be on the panel? He goes, look, I remember doing it. I go, it's 40 years ago. No, I don't remember the story. He goes, I'd have nothing to add. I'm like, all right, no problem. It's cool. But I kind of juiced up the story a bit to add more Easter eggs and stuff, because the story
more
was
foot fetish stuff.
Yes, it was all about my feet. They discover my feet. No, Hawkgirl is alerted by an archaeologist that there's a weird tomb in the desert. I made it the Mojave Desert, and she gets there. There are glyphs on the walls, and she's like, "This is no earthly ancient language. This is Kryptonese." So, as corny as it sounds, this looks like a job for Superman. So Superman shows up. He reads the Kryptonese, and he's like, "Oh, great row!" I had to throw in a great row. It could have just been Great Scott, but I'm like, great row because it's Krypton.
Because it's Egyptian.
Kryptonian god. So I'm like, he's like, can it be? And in the story, Superman's great grandfather creates this kind of Stargate technology where it's a wormhole from Krypton to Earth. And I add in because there were seismic quakes going on in his great grandfather's time, and he too was worried about maybe this would end Krypton, so there's no way of getting off the planet. So he gets to Earth. And there is this wormhole connection with his technology and stuff. So they figure out how to start it up again. And from the iris of this wormhole, red solar flares shoot out and hit Superman in the chest and sucks him into the vortex.
Oh, no.
So, exactly.
Does it take his powers away, the red?
Well, yeah, because it's the red, that's the implication is, that's how it was able to grab him and pull him in.
Yeah.
So, and, did it throw him into Krypton's galaxy? Did it send him someplace else? We don't know. Hawkgirl has no choice. She grabs her mace and she flies in, to be continued. And that's the cliffhanger.
Oh, cool.
They
read that for you?
Can I conjecture as to the ending?
If you conjecture.
Superman was in the stall next to you going, woo, woo.
Yeah. I just came from wormhole. But yeah, when I went back in after the Kupperberg panel and had to sit down again, it was either the same guy or it was another guy talking to himself and making noise as well. And I'm like, who is like selling these full conversations in the bathroom?
I'm going to try that next time.
Yeah, if the service is good, yes, you should add 20%.
I got to go get something related to these stories. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
But yeah, it was cool. I mean, I was very, very happy with the way the table read went. Had a great panel with Donnie Cates on Saturday. That went really well, and his wife and Megan Cates, and then Jimmy Palmiotti, Frank Thierry, Amanda Connor, and Justin Gray did a really good panel all together. And I'm always used to Jimmy being the ringleader and stuff. And I'm like, do you need me? He said, oh, no, we really want you to be there. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I did it. And Amanda, God, man, I love Amanda. She's the best. She is totally the girl next door. And she's like, "Oh, John, we always love talking to you." And I'm like, "Oh, man." So,
but isn't every girl? You think about it, isn't every girl the girl next door to somebody?
To somebody,
Yes.
yeah. But this is the good ones. These are
the good ones.
Your Sandra Dees. Your I don't know, your Olivia Newton-Johns before she gets all slutty and at the end of Grease.
Your Shirley's, but not your Lavernes. That's what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. Yes, your Shirley's, indeed. Your Cindy Williams.
I like Laverne better.
Everybody likes Laverne better.
Uh-oh, Skoke has something here.
That's me farting. Oh, yeah, that's from...
it's from C2E2. This is an Art Baltazar original right here.
He's saying, free!
Well, yeah, because we were yeah, we were in the hallway of the hotel in the rooms. Was that your room, Artie? I'm assuming.
Probably.
Or we were coming from the elevator or whatever, and I thought, all right, I got to fart, and I'm going to. But man, it not only was loud, but it went an octave up in mid fart. So I went.
Yeah, it had its own zip code.
That's what destroyed Krypton.
That's
the real.
And it wound up in a skull next to him. I'm right here. Woo.
That's why people left before the destruction.
Depending on what I eat at a convention, it's always an adventure. So those things unfortunately happen. But I had a great.
I like that.
Batman I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep rambling because
do it.
We like it.
Batman animated series panel with my buddy Robert Costanzo and Lauren Lester, Nightwing. And Dick Grayson, and Diane Pershing, who played Poison Ivy. So they were the three cast members. They tried to get Conroy, but he couldn't do it.
They were all the voices.
Yeah,
okay.
And they were great. Well, and it was great because I really did a lot of research for all of them. Costanzo, I had on Word Balloon, and he was hilarious, very, very funny, and great thick Brooklyn accent. Harvey Bullock, and looks like Harvey Bullock in person as much as he did.
Yeah, I saw your piece about that. Something about that I saw. Your thumbnail, if you will. Yeah. No, he was great. But Diane Pershing played Dale Arden in all the Flash Gordon cartoons. And also she was the cartoon Isis, not the live action Isis, Joanna Cassidy or whatever her name was. Hot. But there was like a Shazam ISIS cartoon hour too. And I'm like, hey, you were ISIS? She's like, yes, I was. I'm like, any memories of that? She's like, no, it was over 40 years ago. I have no idea what I did. But she did. She did have good memories of being Dale Arden on the Flash Gordon Filmation cartoons. And that was a great cartoon. I think it was Oh, thanks. Really and listen to the audio of the animated panel. Yes. Thank you. No, I was pleased. And Robin, the Lauren Lester, Nightwing, halfway through it is like, this is really good. I'm enjoying your questions. I don't normally get questions like that. I'm like, yeah, because it's me and it's Word Balloon, and because
I'm Yoko Chips,
and I don't just go, what was your favorite episode? And I've seen these panels. I've seen these panels done by other people. I'm like, no, I want to get. God, the best was, and I'll share this, although it's very clinical. So there's some medical words being used.
Turn your head off, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Lauren Lester did an episode of Franco's favorite show, The Orville.
Oh,
and he, was live action part for him. And Costanzo, Harvey will say, hey, I did a thing with Seth Abraham too. I did a Family Guy episode where I played Katie Holmes's vagina. Everybody starts laughing. Diane Pershing clutches her pearls. Oh my! I'm like, it's all right. It's a medical conference. We're all doctors here. Continue, Robin. And he goes, yeah, they get because this is like when it was weird with them and with Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. So I'm like, hey Tom, when are you gonna come down and visit? I haven't seen you in a really long time. And he goes, I'm basically speaking out of the side of her labia.
I like this. There's kids in the audience. It's awesome.
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
Daddy, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does vagina mean? Yeah.
Labia. Let's get the microscope out, son, and we'll tell you all about it. Hang on one second. But yeah, that was fantastic. I was dying. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I've still got several to release on Word Balloon, the audio, and eventually I'll get the video. There was a guy shooting video, and Mitch is great. Mitch always says, John can use any video that you guys shoot, and they're always like, yeah, no problem. They're like, you just don't mind if we do it first. I'm like, of course not. So
That's cool.
Yeah. So there you go.
I hung out with
3 days.
It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have on Saturday night, like we called you, we were going to hang out with Mitch, or I asked where you were, and you were indisposed, so I hung out with Mitch. Wound up hanging out with him, and we got milkshakes. And at 2 a.m, there's me, Mitch, and one of his buddies that helps run the show. So there's basically 3 fat white guys standing in the middle of the casino, drinking milkshake. And we're commenting on, these young people who are walking by with a box of donuts, like, oh, what are they doing with donuts at 2 a.m? Meanwhile, we're drinking milkshakes,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun times.
Was that guy you were with? Would he be called a cohort?
A cohort.
Yeah.
A
Would
buddy.
he be one of Mitch's cohorts?
Yeah.
I'm never gonna watch that show. It says.
I've watched Masters of the Universe, in fact, and had Tim Seeley on to talk about the first 5 episodes, half of the season.
Nice.
I like it. I thought it was really good.
I watched 2 episodes.
I'll probably never see it.
The only thing that I laughed at was when Sarah Michelle Gellar plays Tila, the main character in the story. And when my sister, I got a sister named Tila. She's a master of the universe. Does a lot of magic.
It's a good band, Kitty Holmes Vaginas. But center stage.
That's true. She at the beginning of the show, and it's like they do a flashback. She's talking like Buffy, and oh wow, it's great to see everybody and He-Man and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And then they flash forward, and then she starts talking like this because she's a warrior and she has to be taken seriously.
She's hardened.
And I'm like, God, if I were the voice director, I would have been like, cut, Sarah, you're Buffy, okay? Buffy was a badass. Buffy still had your normal voice. You don't have to toughen up that much. It's like
the show's getting people mad.
Very mad.
Upset, yeah.
Very mad. Bait and switch. Hey, it's the He-Man show, and there's no friggin' He-Man and Skeletor. I don't care about Tila and a little tea party of girls over by there.
But it's told long form, right? Like, isn't it like a binge watch? So
well, the first 2, I saw 2.5 episodes, and the 2.5 episodes I saw were pretty good because I like story,
Exactly.
But I think Andy Price is right. It's very Kevin Smith dialogue though, very very much. But I don't mind that. I like some, I like his dialogue.
Yeah, I like his
but the story is clever. So far, again, I haven't seen the last couple of episodes, but so far I liked it.
It's very Flash Gordon, where Tila is gathering former allies or subjects of Skeletor to rise against him. And that's good. That's exactly what Flash did in the original Flash Gordon.
Flash. Oh.
Do they show Beast Man in there?
Yes,
they do.
Moth Man.
They do.
That's where I'm like, no, I mean, and I kind of get a little bit of the anger because although it's called Masters of the Universe, not He-Man, there's a fair expectation that it would have been purely a He-Man story, and it isn't. At least, and again, it's only half done. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't want to spoil, but certain things happen to Adam and He-Man that you're like,
yeah,
wait a minute. And it's like, yeah, but it's only halfway through the story, so relax. So
I'll probably eventually watch it, but probably never though.
I have to admit, I'm wearing the shirt, but I haven't seen the show. I canceled Netflix a few months ago. I've been getting my entertainment from the library.
Yeah.
And they don't there's no so I haven't seen it yet, but I am curious. I like that they have the guy who does the voice of Moss Man was the original Skeletor. Alan Oppenheimer.
And I wondered why because Luke is Skeletor in this version.
Mark Hamill,
yeah. But I guess Oppenheimer being older is like, I can't make my voice stay like that for that long of a period of time.
Yeah, I agree with Andy. Andy and I are of like minds tonight because he thought that not going through He-Man was interesting, and I thought so too. I mean, it's an interesting story.
They elevated all the other characters. They gave them more things to do. I think it's going to be a much more interesting universe moving forward. I'm sure that if Smith wants to, they will do more seasons. Regardless, there's still 5 more episodes.
I think Dante has some inside info here that he found somewhere. He wrote, but Netflix and Hasbro, okay, 2 series simultaneously. One is the Masters of the Universe series by Kevin, and there's a second show being worked on called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe with character designs by Jeff Matsuda, who worked on the Brave and the Bold cartoon and X Factor and the Jeff Lowe Britton Kaboom comic. So there.
I didn't know that.
Whatever. I don't know if the other He-Man show is going to be its own continuity or not.
Only on VHS, Andrew. It's only available on VHS. So
Andrew's asking for a spring break lawyer through his local library.
Hey, Hoopla is amazing, and also, Skoke is lucky because we're in the city, and you go downtown to the really amazing Chicago Public Library, and their DVD section is incredibly deep, and lots of really great documentaries and weird, quirky movies and stuff. No, it's we did good living.
Andrew asked about Spring Break Lawyer. I don't think you could get that through your library loaning, but I'm pretty sure you could get Skoke. I think if you request him, he will come to your local library.
The one man and soon to be on DVD, the one man show of Spring Break Lawyer.
And for an extra fee, he will stand outside your bathroom door and go when you go. Yeah.
You could probably just go drive up to Skoke and just go get him.
You could
just get him.
I juggle. I know how to juggle. I can perform.
The New York, the 2 great New York stories of bathrooms still top. Hello, everyone, because we got the Gladiator eating a sandwich in front of me and Franco while we're in the bathroom.
That never going to be topped by anything, I think.
Well, but the other one was the guy that was peeing like this with hands free, and he was bumped and he peed on the guy next to him, and the guy's like, hey. I'm sorry, I was jostled. He's like, well, hold your dick like any normal human being.
I remember that.
The guy needed a how-to book on how to pee properly, which could have been narrated by Skoke. How to pee properly.
Skoke can narrate that, how to pee.
That's his highly anticipated follow-up to Ass Paste.
Exactly. Step 1.
Coming
firmly.
I need a script because actor. I don't know if you freestyle or not, but
a little improv, maybe.
Yeah, improv.
That's possible. It's always possible.
No, I unfortunately, Dante. No, it's not going to be a clip of sound. I wish I had the forethought to break out the iPhone and record it, because the guy really was going on, and I'm just like,
well.
All right,
I'm glad you didn't, because with your track record, you probably would have flushed it down the toilet by accident.
It would have fell in.
Okay, so Saturday night, I am like burnt out and like not thinking at all. And after the panels, because they were I did like 4 or 5 panels that day, and I usually beg Mitch, please don't do more than like 3. Give me a couple breaks in between or whatever. And but Donnie, CB Cebulski was supposed to be there and interview Donnie Cates. He couldn't be there. So, I'm always like, whatever you need, Mitch, whatever you need. And he's like, do you mind moderating? I'm like, whatever you need. So anyway, I've done all day panels. I go outside like Franco to get fresh air. I walk into the smokers section. So I basically inhale half a pack of cigarettes while I'm just enjoying the sun and reading stuff on my iPad. Then I go up. And I go to my room, and it's a long walk and everything, and I relax, and I'm like, iPad, where's my iPad? Holy shit, where's my several $100 iPad that I really don't want to have to buy another one? Oh my god!
And all those photographs on there.
I'm scared as hell.
All the ones
like, all right, I guess I'll go back down to the fire pits and retrace my steps. Thank God, at the elevator, when I got off to go to my room, there's, the little area of the elevator, there's a coffee table, a couple chairs. I put my iPad down there to reposition my pants.
Floppy pants?
And it was there.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay.
You had to readjust your jostle?
Yeah. Honestly, I really had to lie down after that. I'm like, all right, it's been a long day. I want to I better go to bed, so I did.
Yeah. Fortunately, he won't be here Saturday. He's resting. He can't take.
He's having a nervous breakdown because he keeps losing important pieces of equipment.
Art. Artem Franco and I had with Scoot, we saw a guy in the restaurant motioning to a waitress to bring him some toilet paper.
Yeah.
The bathroom door was open, and we just saw the finger.
he was standing there with no pants on.
Yeah. He had no pants on. The shirt was long enough, thankfully, to cover himself, but it was weird. It was just this skeletal finger doing this, and then she slipped him the roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have quit that job.
Thankfully, being in my room on Saturday night, it was incredible boxing all night long. So I was very happy.
Oh, yeah.
Was that you in the bathroom, or was that on TV?
No, it was on TV.
Oh,
you like boxing?
You like it boxing?
Be good. I'd like to fight that guy. Go a few rounds.
Yeah, there you go.
A few jabbing, a sparring session would be fine.
Did everyone manage to see Suicide Squad, or are we still waiting? Obviously, the Scope maybe not.
No, Artie hasn't either. No,
gotta wait till it comes to the library.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could watch it until we just started going live on here.
Yeah.
I thought you had to pay like Black Widow.
I watched it last night.
You did watch it last night?
I watched it last night, late into the night. I did a broadcast with Tom Zoller yesterday.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then after that, I got off, and my son said, "Oh, I'll watch it with you." And I texted him, and I didn't get anything from him, so that I went by his room, and he was asleep. So then I decided, it's midnight. I'll start watching it. And my wife is like, where were you till 2 a.m? I was like, downstairs watching a movie.
well, Francis and I and Mitch are doing our first Star Trek podcast coming back because Lower Decks is coming back on Thursday.
Oh, I can't wait to get yelled at in a Starfleet uniform.
Is that the cartoon one? Lower Decks?
Yes. Yeah, that's the adult cartoon. And then when that's done, the kid cartoon, Prodigy, is going to start up. And regardless, I want to. Yes, there is an end credit scene in Suicide Squad. Yes, you're right.
He said.
But we'll talk about Suicide Squad then, because I know Mitch saw it, and I saw it, and you saw it. We could talk then.
We get it, yeah.
But I liked it enough.
I saw the
after credits.
I liked it. I liked it enough, but I don't want to say much about it.
Well, yeah, I don't want to spoil, because I don't know how much they already know in terms of what they're up against and all that stuff. But I'll save it for Sunday.
I know I like it because I enjoyed Wonder Woman 84.
Oh,
I like it.
I
enjoyed it. Yeah.
The cast is pretty great, though. They got Nathan Fillion and Taika Waititi.
Yes,
the cast is awesome.
For the shark one?
Shark? All around, I will without doing spoilers. I would say all around the casting is excellent on Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and it's excellent. Fun. Yeah, and it's funny, which is good.
Mm-hmm. I like how.
I'll talk on Sunday.
I'm with the same mindset with Andy Price. I want to know what Art liked about Wonder Woman 84. I need to know this now.
I liked the Wonder Woman scenes with her in the mall was cool. I liked when she was at the very beginning, right? Yeah. Yeah. Certain parts, like the whole movie was weird and silly, but that's kind of what I liked about it, because when they did the weird and silly things, I laughed at it, but it didn't annoy me. It didn't make me go, "Oh, this is so terrible." I would say this is crazy, and the bad guy was weird. With his wishes. I wish that he turned into the stone instead of getting his powers. I wish that he turned Rocky. That would have been cool, like if he turned into a gem. And but I liked her fighting the cheetah. I wish the cheetah was in it more. But they had cool moments. I knew that it sucked real bad, so I guess that's probably why I enjoyed it. But if somebody told me it was excellent, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much. But I liked it more because I knew
basically, I was going to say, so basically because you heard so much about it being bad, you were braced for it, you knew about it, and then you're like, oh, okay.
I wasn't expecting anything, and I was actually entertained by it, and I liked it. And I liked the scene in the desert with the cars when she was flipping around, and she saved the kids, and the car ran over
the action sequences where there was no dialogue or story were good. Anytime you have to deal with a story, I'm like, oh, what am I watching?
Yeah, when she violated violated the stranger's body was weird. And then we were watching. They didn't really show stuff because they both woke up in bed with their clothes on. She had a long shirt on, and he might have been shirtless.
He had the fanny pack on still, though.
Yeah. And so we watched it, and then Sonny said, "Wait, what just happened? Did they?" I think so. And then he said, "But he doesn't look like Trevor. He looks like the other guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, we'll just move on from there." So I knew that was coming.
They should have had more scenes of her using her farts to fly. I have to leave you now, Steve.
Right in the air currents. But the one part I wish they would have added was when she met the guy who was Steve Trevor's body, when she met him at the end.
Steve Trevor's body. All right.
Yeah, he was the body of Steve Trevor. He was hosting his spirit. He was possessed by the ghost of Steve Trevor. So at the end, when she actually met the guy who couldn't remember, but he looked at her, and she should have said, she should have asked him for coffee. Would you like to get a cup of coffee with me? And that would have been cool.
Ooh, that's like Heaven Can Wait.
Yeah, and
but
then
that's creepy.
Of course.
That's creepy. You're going to ask somebody out that you kind of already sort of raped.
Yeah, she already saw his buttocks and naked butt.
You remind me of my long dead
potentially.
Boyfriend. Would you like coffee?
Someone tried to convince me that because it was the embodiment of Steve, it took on his physical attributes, and that's what she saw. And I'm like, nope.
No, that wasn't true.
That's not a thing.
He saw himself in the mirror.
Yep.
And he was there. He was a handsome guy, the more handsome guy.
Chris Pine.
Like Quantum Leap. Same kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
like Quantum Leap.
Oh, that's true.
And she believed them too fast. I knew all the bad stuff was there, but I get it. It was more like a comic book, like a silly comic from the 60s than anything.
Wolfie's
kind of like Superman 4.
That was, I believe, Carl Carlton who's saying we don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time.
Oh, that guy.
I remember.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I have no earthly idea why it had to take place in the 80s, in 84 specifically.
It didn't. And no, they didn't really show any 80s stuff besides the clothes in the wall.
Yeah, the trailer that used the New Order song. That was a great song.
But I liked all of the elements were there to have an excellent movie. But it was like Superman 4, where they opened up the comic and said, let's make this story, and it's awesome and comic booky, but the execution was bad. And I like the part where she wore the armor of the old warrior.
Yes,
I don't even know, Aphrodite maybe. I don't forget her name, Athena. But then it was actually Linda Carter at the end.
Spoilers.
I like all of that stuff was cool, but they didn't. It was
but honestly, if you think about it, that part annoyed me too because they do so much setup for that armor. Yeah, and then she flies it over to the island and then within seconds disposes of it because it gets hacked to shreds because apparently it's been sitting in her apartment for so long that it's become brittle and is of no use whatsoever.
It wasn't strong at all.
Right. Yeah. And then like they had so much time setting this thing up and then the only reason they had it was so that you could do the Linda Carter thing. And I was like, that was just like a big waste of time.
Yeah. See, all the elements were there for an awesome movie, but it was just the execution of it.
I like the Olympics part where they were doing that.
No, I didn't like that either.
You didn't like that? You didn't like that?
Oh, I like that either. That's the only the pre-credit like James Bond kind of opening is the only thing I liked about it.
Oh, the little kid stuff when she was a little
kid.
Yeah,
but unlike Phantom Menace, it didn't bother me that little Diana was competing with adults. It didn't. I don't know why, but it didn't bother me.
Well, I'll tell you why it bothered me. Because we saw the same exact thing in the first film.
Yeah,
it was the same. It was the same. Almost. I mean, it was different. It was the same thing. If it had been something else that happened down the island and explained more of the story, but for me, I'm like, oh, they're just rehashing the same exact thing they did in the first movie.
Yeah, they're like, hey, here's the same girl, but they should have did if it would have been a lesson that she learned later.
Yeah, maybe if they made her like a teenager or older than the little girl that played her in the first one.
Yeah, they just didn't know how to connect it all.
I can't believe that Patty Jenkins made such a good first movie and such a bad second movie.
Right.
It's I don't know. And I don't know if she had interference, and I'm guessing that might be the case.
Maybe she was
you know,
forced.
Guggenheim is working on the new Green Lantern TV show, and he worked on the Ryan Reynolds movie. And somebody had asked him about, what do you think happened and stuff. And basically, if you read my interpretation, reading between what Mark was saying, was that the movie kind of got like death by committee, where too many people had input,
right?
And that's why it's so like mishmashy.
Because you could see the Jeff Johns stuff when it comes to Sinestro's dialogue and his look, the way he looks, and his faces makes his expressions. You could tell that's all Jeff Johns.
There were parts of that were good that I liked in that movie.
Yeah.
The one thing I couldn't get, and I think I may have stated this before, Ryan Reynolds' eyes are a little too close together. So when he wears a mask, the two white slits look like they're right next to each other, and it just kind of knocks me for a loop.
He does have beady eyes.
Yeah.
But, that literally is like, hey, there's something wrong with the cigarette lighter here in my Rolls Royce. I mean, he is a beautiful man. You gotta give him credit, man.
Yeah, all the space stuff was cool in that movie.
I like Ryan Reynolds a lot, but I'm just being super picky about that. Like, did someone do a costume test beforehand?
No, you're right. And God, Kilowog looked amazing.
Yeah, the space stuff.
And something that I think is a good indication of both where TV and film are going, because really, Mark is one of the main architects of the Arrowverse for the CW, going back to the original show, Arrow, but all the shows. He's still consulting on Legends of Tomorrow, and has a million movie pitches in. And even I'm like, God, would you ever have interest in doing like an audio drama? And he's like, oh, that's funny. I actually put in an audio pitch to DC to do an audio drama podcast with DC characters. I'm like, oh, that'd be great. Well, anyway, he said, mentioning how good the space stuff was and everything, he said you need a combination of CG and practical effects. You do need a guy in a costume every now and then, or you need it to be makeup and a guy. And I was saying, I'm like, wasn't I right? I'm like, Abin Sur, the corpse of Abin Sur was a real thing, because I remember seeing it at Comic-Con. And it was this life size, even bigger, because he was like 8 feet tall or whatever. But it was this like real thing. And he's like, no, exactly. And he goes, you really need, like, don't overplay the CG, because people are going to start.
It's like a cartoon.
It is. And hey, man, I will say this about the Fast and Furious movies. They've reached this level of ridiculous. And it's like, it's not funny. It's numbing, where you're just like, yeah, all right. Okay, now the cars can go in space. Okay. And,
really? Are they flying in space in the last one? Yeah. I never saw any of those.
Did I mention this on the last podcast, or what I think the name for the next Fast and Furious movie should be? They're missing out if they don't name it Fast 10 Your Seatbelts.
Oh yeah,
right?
Right, I can see
Fast 10 Your Seatbelt. Come on, that's a good one.
That's definitely got to be in the Fast and Furious font when you're seeing the preview, the trailer, and it should be Fast 10 Your Seatbelt.
That's the way Art pronounces everything,
Fast 10, yeah.
Like num 4ers,
Exo 3 Ursist.
Num 3ers. That was the one that got me that one time. Num 3ers.
Of course.
Fant 4 stick. Exorcist 3 was Exo 3 Ursus.
I like stuff from Green Lantern and Galactus Club. I don't know.
They should have fought.
Let's do a weather report and let us know. All right.
It would have been cooler.
They would
next to Johnny would win.
Yeah, it would have been cooler if Parallax attacked Oa, the planet.
That 10 will likely be underwater
instead of going into Earth and attacking his girlfriend.
Andrew Clark, yes, but it would still need to be called Fasten Your Seatbelts for underwater.
Underwater.
Are they going to be underwater?
I think that's a prediction.
Put onto your butts, it says.
Fast 10, hold on your butts.
Your buttocks. Fast 10, your buttocks.
Interesting.
10. F10, stop.
For 10.
10.
Isn't that a key on your keyboard?
It is, and it's also, I believe, a lens setting on your lens if you're a photographer.
F10 stop, yeah.
An F stop.
F stop. Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that what it was? I would always like yell at people.
F was where I used to get my disco clothes in the late 70s.
I would yell at people. I would say the F word.
Where are my platform shoes? And my bell bottoms at F stop.
I would always yell out the F word and then the number. That's what I thought it was.
They should call it the F and 10th one. That's what they should call it.
Johnny, did you have bell bottoms at any point?
Oh, absolutely. We all did. Dude, are you kidding? I didn't have as many different leisure suits as the $6 Million Man, but I had a lot.
Did you have that chest hair sticking out?
If you really want to examine the fashions of the 70s and the celebration of the leisure suit, you got 5 seasons of the $6 Million Man to go through.
Pretty sure, Skoke, I'm never going to show this publicly, but I'm pretty sure my parents have a picture of me in a blue leisure suit from when I did my first communion. It's
nice.
big wide collars, belt bottoms.
Exactly.
It's good stuff, man.
My buddy Whitey and his older brother Steve, they have a great picture that their mom took of them as kids, and they're both in matching leisure suits and totally like the lapels are out here, but they're both standing like this. And it's so great because really like they're trying to pose, and it's like if you Frankenstein pose.
If you get a good wind, it'd be like the flying nun. You can take off in those collars.
You guys, you should bring pictures of your bell bottoms and your leisure suits, and I'll bring my VHS of me lip syncing Love Boat in the church fashion show I was in.
I'm pretty sure the only picture we would need is this one.
That's a good picture.
I wanna be Bobby's girl.
I am the Hulk. Yeah.
I'm thinking about the Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good man, that Ferrigno. I met him once. I shook his hand.
I said, "Get away from me." All right.
No, I shook his hand.
No problem, Mr. Ferrigno.
He was he had just been on The Apprentice, and I said, "You should have won." And he put his hand out, and he shook my hand with his large hand. My hand completely disappeared. Half my arm was gone in his handshake. It was magical.
He's awesome. I got to interview him one time at New York Comic Con for Newsarama, and we were talking about the TV show and the comics and stuff. And I'm like, there's a Red Hulk now, and he's like, I prefer the green one.
Of course.
Mitch Halleck from Terrificon has a great story about Lou Ferrigno. He was at the show a couple of years ago, and we were setting up for the first Kids Con inside the show. And I was looking for him, and I went to go ask in the front, and they're like, well, we don't know where he is and stuff like that, and asking his wife, and she said, there was something happened where he had to go pick up Lou Ferrigno, and he disappeared for like hours. He disappeared for hours, and he came back, and I was looking for him. I'm like, I've been looking for you for hours. He goes, I had to have pancakes with the Incredible Hulk. Like, what are you talking about? He goes, I had to pick up Lou Ferrigno from the airport, and he wanted pancakes, so he made me stop at a diner. We're eating pancakes, and like, there's this big Hulk literally in a booth, and I'm sitting there, and everybody's looking at us because everybody recognizes him, and we're sitting here eating pancakes, and I'm like, I gotta get back to his show, but he's like devouring stacks of pancakes, so I gotta wait for him.
Mm-hmm. One year.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
At the Wizard World one time, somebody stole Lou Ferrigno's cash box, grabbed it right off the table, and started running away.
I remember that.
He took off after the guy and tackled him and got the box back. He's a real life superhero.
Who would mess with that guy? Looking the way he does, I'm going to steal his money.
Just foolish.
So basically, what you're saying is Lou Ferrigno pulled a Jimmy the Muscle.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Because Jimmy the Muscle did that with us in San Diego. He was standing right next to me. It was the first time I met him, and I said, "Art, who's Jimmy?" Art's like, "Oh, that's Jimmy the Muscle. He's all right." I'm like, "All right, it's good enough for me."
Yeah, he's good.
Like all of a sudden, like one day in the middle of the day, he just takes off running. I'm like, "Whoa, what happened to Jimmy?" And Art turns to me, he goes, "Jimmy probably had to do something only Jimmy could do."
Yeah,
and he had to take care of something. So I'm like, "All right." 10 minutes later, he comes back and he throws a T-shirt on my table, my T-shirt from that I was selling. And he goes, "That guy thought that was free." And I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, "Oh man, he chased the guy down and he got the shirt back."
Because he said that, he grabbed the guy's arm and he says, "Okay, you have 2 choices. You give me the shirt back, or I could break your arm." He goes, "All right, here's the shirt." He goes, "Okay, wise choice." Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anthony rode an elevator with Lou at the Hyatt in Chicago, just us two. He was dressed as Indiana Jones and felt like a big dork.
Yeah, Lou probably felt weirder because he was like a Hulk.
It's like I forgot to paint my skin green today.
Andy Price says you should have seen Burt Ward wipe out the entire stock of shrimp cocktails at a buffet at Denver Comic Con.
Gosh, yes.
Gosh, that's a lot of shrimp, Batman.
Holy crustaceans, Batman.
I was in the break room one time with Burt Ward and the guy who sang Earth Angel from Back to the Future. That guy. Chuck, it's your cousin Larry. That guy.
Oh, yeah.
Marvin Berry.
Yeah, and I was with Frodo, Ganji, Samwise guy.
Samwise Ganji, yes.
I was with him.
Sean Astin.
Yeah, it was us three and the first girlfriend from Marty McFly. We were all on the table.
Dude,
we were all in the break room together, all sitting at the big round table, and it was me and Kurt Wood were there. And we're all cracking wise, making jokes. And Burt Ward says how his daughter got bit by a bat. And then I made the joke, did she get bat powers? And then he said, no, she went to the hospital. She almost died. And his story got real sad, real bad. And he was not happy at all. And he almost was in tears telling us the story. And it went out how he had to get a blood transfusion and all kinds of stuff. And everyone slowly started getting up. The Earth Angel guy got up. Marty McFly's girlfriend says, oh, I got to go do something. The only one who stayed was Sean Astin stayed. And Kurt Wood. Yeah, me and Kurt and Sean. And Kurt finally got up. He had to leave, and it was just me and Sean Astin. And then after it was done, he walked out with me. And then he wanted to know. He goes, I wanted to ask you, what's that on your shirt? That cat. And he started talking about Action Cat. But it was really, I felt so
really?
bad.
Burt Ward is not a happy person? That's too bad.
Yeah, he was not. He was not. Well, he wasn't laughing at any of our jokes. And I brought
he did a very good Gilbert Gottfried. He had good stories.
Burt Ward has one of those websites that scrolls forever. It's all about his pet food. I think he sells pet food or something.
Yes.
And it just keeps going forever.
Yeah, he's a dog guy.
He married a woman of wealth, and this is like their mission is to like raise healthier dogs. And no, I mean honestly, I have a friend who used the dog food for his dog, and he's like, you won't believe who's behind this like really healthy dog food I've been using for the dogs. And he's like, Burt Ward. Gosh, yes.
Gosh, this is dog chow.
When he was in that crossover show, he was walking his dogs.
Yeah. When he had the sweat, I was talking about that with Guggenheim. I'm like, that's awesome, man. You got Burt Ward. Yeah. So he said Robert Wuhl was great. The guy who played Knox and the reporter in the Batman movie.
You're going to need a long lens.
And who else had he? Because I was asking about various, people that he got for the cameos. He's like, a lot of critics are like, you spent too much time on the cameos. He's like, basically, he didn't say this, he didn't swear, but he's like, yeah, F you. I had a ball.
Cameos were cool.
And truly, that really was. I mean, like you literally had 4 shows, like of the CW, if not 5. Well, you had Black Lightning, Supergirl, Batwoman.
Mm-hmm.
No, more than that. So you had like 6. Black Lightning, Supergirl, Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, and Arrow. Is there one I'm missing? And also, they threw in a quick Lucifer crossover, and he's like, that was insane.
And John, and Hellblazer.
Was because I couldn't remember if Constantine was already part of the Legends then, or on his own. But regardless, and of course the Kevin Conroy stuff. Anyway, he said the Lucifer stuff was the biggest hurdle because it was Netflix and CW trying to work together, and plus finding a day to do it, and I didn't even notice, and I have to go back and watch, but they always have those great establishing shots of LA when they go to Lucifer's club or whether they're on the Lucifer show, and they did that for the crossover scene. And there's a billboard that's normally blank, and you can punch in whatever images you want to and stuff. And I didn't notice it, but Guggenheim said they put a "Who Watches the Watchmen" in the in the billboard to nod to even Lindelof and HBO and everything.
And they connected the movies too with Brandon Routh Superman.
Absolutely.
And they because of that now they have a Superman in that universe. And then they later in the Flash they crossed over the movie Flash with the TV Flash.
Right.
They faced off against each other.
That was
cool.
my favorite part. Is actually seeing Brandon Routh back in the Superman costume.
And he's the Kingdom Come Superman.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And they gave it the Christopher Reeve ending, where the the sunrise from the earth.
Yeah, when he's flying,
Superman flies by anyway. He smiles as he flies by and everything.
Guys, I didn't see any of those, but I'm wondering, did the weather wizard from the Justice League, that old roast, did he make an appearance at all?
No, Jeff Altman did not, as weather wizard, show up.
Oh, no.
Jeff Altman, that's right.
That's too
Jeff
bad.
Altman was just on either Gilbert or it was Gilbert. He had hilarious stories.
He was. You're right.
And because I think he met Muhammad Ali around the same era that I met Muhammad Ali, and I think I caught Ali on a good night.
You never met no Muhammad Ali.
He was in the same hotel as Ali, and he found out, and he got to go down to his room and knock on the door, and Jim Brown, the Cleveland Brown football player.
I did a commercial with that guy.
Amazing guy, and he was with him, and I guess Ali, Ali likes to show these magic tricks, and he showed me he showed me a magic trick in the men's room. Let's not talk about it. But,
in the stall next to you, he reaches his hand up underneath the. Hey, look at this!
He had a scarf, and he had like a on his hand he had like a fake thumb, so he could kind of hide the scarf, like manipulate or whatever. And he's like, and it's gone. Where did it go, Jim? Where did it go? And apparently, like the whole time, Jim Brown's like, "That's great, Jim. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's good, just like barely like acknowledging. No, but Jim, you got to see it again. Where did it go? That's great. That's great.
What if his name was Beige instead of Brown? Jim Beige.
Jim Beige.
Beige man.
Hey, oh man, I can't even show it. We got to find a picture of Dan Lee because we got to talk about Dan Lee,
Jim's brother.
There's a Dan Lee.
Oh, the Stan Lee impersonator.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I know. I saw it on Facebook. I saw the ad for the show.
Like, I'm sorry. A, like, really, from the guy's standpoint, and B, what idiot thinks I'm going to make a ton of money with my Dan Lee impersonator?
But the show is weird because they're using him to promote their show.
Yeah.
It's like, look who we have.
It's like some I've never heard of Florida town. No disrespect to the towns of Florida. It's a lovely town. But I mean, it reflects the size of that show. Yeah. It reminds me of like one of the Chicago shows that I don't remember who the guy is, but I know Artie knows about this show on the South Side. That's always
Joey Bag of Donuts.
It's kind of probably. Yeah, probably.
Might be him.
Okay, so this is what we're here. Let's see if I can get it up there. Because I'm not gonna. Yeah, this is Dan Lee.
Dan Lee.
So Dan Lee.
That we see like because it's a little blurry, that actually gives it justice. You should put it on your laptop and share the screen.
Pop Fest.
Wait a minute. That's 2021. That's now.
Yeah,
that's in the future.
Yeah, it's not him because it's a little blurry. But if you look, it's not Stan. You can tell it's not Stan. It's just some guy who kind of sort of looks like Stan.
Hello, I'm Dan Lee.
That's the
Dan Lee.
That's terrible.
Superfluous.
But you look what he's wearing, and he's they've been listening to us because they got the beige down.
He's got the beige pants.
Yeah, he's got the beige. So
sweater.
He's wearing the V-neck sweater. Exactly.
It looks like the action figure.
Where is this? Where are they allowing that to happen?
Lake County Fairgrounds, Eustis, Florida. Eustis.
But Stan Lee has
and it says meet Stan Lee impersonator Dan Lee at Sci-Fi Pop Fest 2021.
They have to explain who he is. Go on.
Well, I guess since there are so many other impersonators out there of famous dead pop culture icons, it only makes sense that Stan Lee has one out there. The amazing Dan Lee will be appearing at Sci-Fi Pop Fest 2021 via Big Bang Comics down in Florida, and he certainly looks like Stan Lee fans remember from the older years. But we can't help but think this is very strange.
But I wonder if Stan Lee Enterprises will show up and sue the guy.
I think that's like an Elvis impersonator. Yeah, it's a parody. I don't think they can do anything about it
because he can't help the way he looks. It looks like
and it's Dan Lee, and he says he's an impersonator, just like there's Elvis impersonators.
It's true. George Clooney impersonators. I know.
Excelsior.
He's right there, George Clooney impersonator.
Excelsior. I like that, Andrew.
Excelsior.
Andrew says, I created a racket lab with
Steph
Stocko.
Mike Ditka.
So I was thinking today, and I put it up on
Stocko impersonator. Now you got something.
I was thinking today, as I often do, my brain wanders, and I was thinking about the Aquaman sequel because I was thinking, watch Suicide Squad, and I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if Aquaman 2, since they got rid of the DCU Superman and everything else, and they're only keeping, from reports that I read, they're only keeping Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Everybody else is gone, right? Ben Affleck's out and all this other stuff.
I thought Affleck was back with the Flash movie.
Yeah, but he's not doing any more Batman or something like that after that.
I thought he's got an HBO TV show in development, but please go on.
So anyway, I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if they took Aquaman 2 and made that like the build-up for Justice League Detroit, and they bring in Martian Manhunter and Vibe and Gypsy. Remember that group?
Sure.
That's what they should do with and I think James Gunn should do it. That's what I'm thinking.
On the CW, obviously Cisco is Vibe. And I believe on Legends of Tomorrow there was a Gypsy. So yeah, they're halfway there. And of course, who's playing? Well,
Zach
John
Kirby.
Jones was on Supergirl. I like that actor who plays John Jones.
Joel Jones.
British dude.
Oh yeah, he was in the Zack Snyder movie too.
No, I think the actor who kind of looks like Obama was John Jones in the Snyder movie.
Yeah, in the movies, yeah.
Because he's he's the army colonel.
Yeah.
At the end of Man of Steel, when Superman has the satellite in his hand, the satellite dish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, satellite.
He is kind of hot, sir. the young woman specialist says
that's right
to the colonel after Superman leaves. He is kind of hot, sir.
Quick,
I'll do him in a moment, sir.
Just want to throw a quick hello to Jamie Farr, who no doubt is watching the podcast right now, I'm sure, from his home in beautiful Pasadena, California. He said he would. In the cameo he made for us last year, he said he'd watch the podcast. So I'm
sure I watched that.
Yeah, I'm sure as soon as he saw one episode, he was hooked, and he's been here ever since. So hello, Jamie. Good to see you.
Jamie Farr.
Let me tell you something.
He can play Vibe.
All the different non-superhero stuff that Mitch had at Terrificon, he was really experimenting because he wanted attendance. He had AEW wrestlers, and people went nuts, and that was incredibly successful. But even crazy stuff like he did a salute to, and I love the way Mitch's brain works. Honestly, like he did a Land of the Lost reunion, and it was the cast and David Gerald, who also was a big Star Trek writer, but then he also did for other like crazy animation things. He had Firestar from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. She's played by the voice woman.
Yeah.
She's Kathy Garver. And Kathy Garver used to be on Family Affair.
Yeah.
That sitcom. She was Sissy, the older sister. And with Brian Keith. Buffy, how you doing? And Mr. French, how you doing?
Mr. Hardcastle from Hardcastle and McCormick.
Exactly, Judge Hardcastle. You're right.
Buffy.
Yeah. Well, that's how Uncle Bill used to talk. Brian Keith, he couldn't help it. Like clearly, like cigarettes in the morning, cigarettes in the evening, cigarettes all day long.
It's a little Bill Cartwright in there.
Jim Bafe would still be a
I did talk to Darby Allin. Actually, I ran into him in the green room, and I was talking to him about Kaz and Daniels.
Was he real small?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's always disappointing to me when I was talking about that with Tom Zoller. That whenever we meet these guys, we're always taller than these guys.
Yeah, we're bigger than every wrestler we meet. Yeah.
So basically, I was standing next to Darby Allin talking to him, and he was literally this big next to me.
What did he say about Kaz and Daniels?
Well, I said, you and I worked on the comic book with them, so we know them. He goes, oh, that's when they were in ROH, right? And I'm like, yeah. So we were talking for a little bit, so it was kind of cool. He was a cool guy.
I like that.
So Kaz is still wrestling, but Chris retired, right?
I'm not sure.
The storyline so far is that's what it was. So
okay. Yeah. Well, I heard, and I don't know if Delta is going to screw this up, but I know AEW is coming to Chicago. They're going to start their tours again, and I went to. They
start next week because they're doing a new show. They have a show on Tuesdays or Wednesdays called AEW Dynamite, and their new Friday show is going to be called Rampage. And rumor has it that CM Punk and Christopher Daniels are going to not Christopher Daniels, Daniel Bryan or Bryan Daniel Bryan are going to show up at some point. So,
well, that's what I heard. I hung out with Chucky yesterday. Close enough. And no, he was telling. He's like, yeah, they're coming to Chicago, and then I was talking to my buddy Chad from Pittsburgh, and he had said that he heard Punk is going to be signing with AEW, and they're he's going to debut in Chicago and everything. So that's cool. So there's another reason, because I felt bad for you guys being the wrestling fans and the fact that you're Chris's friend.
Well,
if Daniels really is retired.
Well, the thing too is they did a promo not this week but last week with Darby Allin, which I should have asked him, but they're not going to tell me. He's not going to tell me. But he did a promo. Basically, he did this promo. He goes, "Oh, you think you're the best in the world?" That's how he ended his promo, and that's CM Punk's line. So they're really kind of playing, fast and loose with a lot of this stuff. But from all the rumors that are going around, is they've signed Daniel Bryan and they've signed CM Punk, and there's a third guy that they've been working on, but nobody really knows who that is.
Sting?
No, Sting's already there. He's there, and he's been.
Get him again.
I heard about Flair. Did you guys hear about Flair?
He's doing the Car Shield commercials now. Woo!
No, I guess he as it was explained to me. He was part of the Legends group, and he was dropped from that, and that's too bad because the Legends used to get like insurance and stuff like that. But they basically let Flair go, and immediately AEW grabbed him and put him in some sort of capacity, and they're paying. I guess I didn't know this, that they apparently do pay health insurance, unlike the WWE.
Nice.
So it's interesting, and basically. Chad, my buddy from Pittsburgh, was telling me, and he's a big wrestling guy. He's like, AEW is like eating WWE's lunch in terms of they're innovative, they're exciting, they're doing new stuff. And I guess Cena on the red carpet for Suicide Squad said, hey, it's kind of lame that Vince needs to use me to promote WWE. Where are the young stars? And it's like, yeah, they're all over at AEW.
Right.
Yeah.
Their programming has been really good. Like AEW, yeah. I mean, I watch WWE still because,
sure.
I put it on in the studio. And honestly, I kind of like the story element aspect of it. And it's easy to watch because I don't have to pay attention to it, when I'm drawing and stuff like that. So
sure.
it's an easy thing to put on. But I've been catching myself stopping work to watch the AEW stuff because,
watching it, yeah.
You're like, oh, man, this guy just came out and stuff like that. And, they had Aleister Black, who was at WWE, and they let him go. And he found a loophole because they have a 30-day non.
That's what I heard. Go on.
And he found a loophole in his contract that they never fixed. And he showed up like way before his 30 days. And he's challenging Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes almost retired after the match. It's like good storytelling that's going on.
I saw that. I saw that in the trucks.
Yeah. And they're bringing in, they're not afraid to cross over. They're bringing in wrestlers from Impact, like Gallows and Anderson are the tag team champions over at Impact, but they're crossing over and they're bringing in a whole bunch of New Japan guys, from overseas that, they're running these storylines and they're good. They're entertaining. So
that one guy,
Andrew says that Virgil is poised for a comeback.
He is. Yeah,
guys, help me understand. Because I don't know much about wrestling. There's WWE, there's Impact, there's A&W or AEW.
There's
A&W these are like different.
But go on.
Yeah, Impact. Think of WWE. That's like a company.
Yeah.
Impact is another company, and AEW is another company.
Okay.
And then there's New Japan. Yeah.
Marvel, DC, Dark Horse.
Yeah, they all have their own group of wrestlers.
They have their own guys.
Yeah.
And they'll jump sometimes
when their contracts are up, they skip over.
Yeah, AEW is allowing these crossovers, and I also wonder if my logic is right, given the fact that now it's easier than ever to follow wrestling and follow all these different federations. If you're a fan, and I'm sure you're online, and it's no different than being a comic book fan, that maybe AEW is really thinking outside the box, whereas WWE is always exclusive,
Mm-hmm.
and AEW is like, hey, why don't we all get together and this will be interesting, and that excites the fandom that much more because they're aware of all these New Japan and everything else that normally, 20 years ago, you wouldn't have been watching.
And I'm sure when they talked, they said we could be better than
Well, they have this,
together.
They have this storyline going with Chris Jericho, who, being for the age that he is, he's really, doing some really cool stuff over there.
He's a cool bad guy, yeah.
They have this story where they have MJF, who's this really cool bad guy over there, and Jericho is feuding with this guy. So he challenged him to the trials of Jericho. So every week Jericho has to go through another wrestler before he could get to MJF and fight in the final battle. Last week, and I've never been a big fan, so I don't know the guy's name. People will call me out, but they had a hardcore wrestler come on and wrestle this guy where they had like a death match, and this guy died in the ring. Literally, he died, and they had to bring him back to life because he died in the ring.
Pizza cutters and stuff.
But they're fighting with pizza cutters, and you can see where he had his thumb on the pizza cutter. He was raking it across Jericho's forehead, slicing his forehead. But but it was, it's fun. And then this week, they brought in some guy that Jericho fought like 15, 20 years ago that hasn't been on TNT for like ever, and they brought this guy back. So it's been fun, like, who's going to show up? What are they going to do type thing,
Mm-hmm.
See, we started talking wrestling, and people are going crazy.
And the WWE
hold on, let's read out loud, Artie.
Yeah.
Let me read this out loud.
Yeah,
NXT wrestlers only have a 30-day no compete, as opposed to the 90 days people on Raw and SmackDown have. Someone screwed up in the WWE office and gave like a 30-day, not 90-day, when he was on Raw.
There you go. That's what it was.
Cool.
Continue.
It's not a bad
they just
non compete.
Yeah. They just let go of Bray Wyatt, that guy.
Yeah,
maybe he's the third guy.
Well, they just released him, from WWE.
Maybe he's the third guy.
Wayne's right. There was a promotion between WCW and New Japan, but that was a one-time event. Mm-hmm. These guys are now doing it all the time, and Dante's got more. All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I'm reading all
Honor,
these.
National Wrestling Alliance, Combat Zone Wrestling, Game Changer Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, Worldwide Entertainment, New Japan. There are tons of wrestling companies and like 6 major wrestling companies. The big 2 are AEW and WWE. Absolutely. But again, even that you're able to rattle all those off, Dante. I mean, you used to have.
But Dante knows a lot about wrestling because he's brought the name of the deathmatch guy, Nick Gage. Okay. He was the guy that he fought.
Oh, so. I know Nick Gage. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, he's all messed up. Wow. So yeah.
I was telling Chuck I got to finish watching the Beyond the Mat documentaries that Vice and A&E made. That were all these big, long,
well, Dante's saying it, Dark Side of the Ring.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. He was on Dark Side of the Ring, Nick Gage, and was busted for robbing a bank too.
Yep. I remember watching that one. No, these are. See, that's why, I don't like the week-to-week stuff. But once again, sports documentary, you had me at a low, and really interesting stories about these wrestlers. Absolutely.
Which one was Dennis Rodman in for a short time? Was that WWE?
Yeah.
NWO. I like those guys.
Sure.
Like it.
Yeah, so it's fun stuff, and I think they're just picking up all these guys. So now they're expanding out to 2 nights, and they have a YouTube show that's called AEW Dark that doesn't air on TV. It airs exclusively on YouTube.
Yeah, it's all the after matches.
You think in 3 years? Yeah, in 3 years they've gone from doing one show to doing AEW Dark on YouTube, and then doing a 3rd show on TV. So they're doing real well.
They used to just do pay-per-views. That's all it used to be.
They still do those. They still do them.
Sure they do.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
This is just like Vince was in the '80s in terms of he's the new guy, he's the innovator. I mean, I know his dad did it as well, but he came in with all these new ideas, blew up all the territories, and now we're seeing it play out in reverse, where AEW is almost in these other sub wrestling organizations. They're almost like territories, and he's working with them. And Vince is, I'm exclusive, but it's like, but this stuff's really good too.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like the new kids with more creative ways.
Yep.
Taking advantage of the times because the older generation doesn't get it.
They're just stuck in there. It's worked for 35 years. Why should I change it?
Right. Yeah. I think it's more than stuck in your ways. It's like what Johnny said. You're just this works. Why change it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's like going from the golden age to silver age to bronze, whatever.
Right.
It's like it reminds me of like when McFarlane and Liefeld showed up and created Image. That's what it's like, and totally. all the art style looks old now.
Have you seen
compared
that
to-
documentary?
The
about
Image one?
Yeah.
I saw one on YouTube. I think that might be the one.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that, and I know I saw it because it comes up where they want you to pay without commercials, but I saw it with commercials. But it was good.
And is Goldberg back? Yes, he's back at WWE, and that's what I mean. WWE is pulling in Cena and Goldberg and these guys and Edge, but they're not doing anything new with them.
Yeah, it's the same guys.
Hey
Right?
guys,
Dante.
I still see the Undertaker appear now and then. Is he
yeah.
still doing things?
Well, yeah. Dante says I've been watching wrestling since I was 7. I'm 44 in a week. Hey, happy birthday! I hate watching the weekly stuff, especially WWE, but adore Dark Side of the Ring and all the wrestling nostalgia podcasts by Conrad Thompson. I rather hear the crazy behind the scenes stories than watch what they do in the ring. The ring stuff feels choreographed for my taste. Yeah, it is, but it's fun. I like doing it. No, he's gone, Skoke. Undertaker's definitely retired, done. He was coming back like once a year or once every couple of years to wrestle a big match, but he's definitely done and retired now. Having said that, he'll probably be back in about a year or so to wrestle.
Yeah, he'll be back at WrestleMania. Yeah, to fight Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
I followed it at AEW.
Regarding documentaries, I'm going to talk to Matthew Klickstein, who's done a few comic books here and there. Really funny writer. And he, for SiriusXM, made a documentary about the history of Comic-Con. And it premiered this summer. I had no idea. And he emailed me and said, hey, can I come on to Word Balloon and talk about it?
Nice.
So we're going to talk about it in a couple of weeks. It's going to be available as a podcast soon. But right now, it's been playing on SiriusXM.
It's all audio?
Yeah. Comic-Con audio documentary by Matthew Klickstein.
Why so serious?
Interesting.
But I'm kind of excited. Yeah, it's I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I will listen to it before I have mine. I guess it's six episodes. So
nice.
I think it'll be cool.
I'm never going to listen to that.
Did you guys do any Comic-Con at home stuff for San Diego?
No, I forgot to send in my stuff. The deadlines just got past me. I was trying to concentrate on other things.
No, I don't mean
did it last year.
I don't mean for the table, for the online stuff they do.
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, last year I did it, but you're supposed to send in deadline stuff.
Okay.
I just didn't get it done. Because last year I did it, and I got 3 sales. I sold like 3 orders of books, so it worked out all right. I mean, I made $150 or something like that, so it was pretty cool. But I just didn't get to do it this year. I just ran out of time.
I moderated a panel for Neotext, which is this cool novella company that does genre fiction. And a lot of their novellas are illustrated. So they do have comic book people, writers, and artists. Howard Chaykin has done work for them before.
Nice.
But the panel that we did, the new guy that's going to start writing Luke Cage in the fall, Ho Chi Anderson is his name. He was on, and Chloe Maval is their essayist, and she's a very good pop culture analyst. And then I had Ben Percy, the deepest voice in comics. He's like talking to Bill Cartwright. Yeah, but he has a story that was illustrated by our own Francesco. I like this. Francavilla.
I am satisfied.
It was great because I talked to Francesco. It's like the first time I've seen him in 10 years, and it's like this. And I'm like, my God, dude, I'm so glad to see you. How you doing, John? I'm good. I'm like,
I like this.
Guys, I was part of the San Diego 20th anniversary of Spring Break lawyer panel.
That's cool.
I was the only one on the panel. Judah Friedlander, who was also in the movie, couldn't make it. Juliana Rancic was in the movie. She could not attend.
Adrian Barbeau, of course, as the judge, could not attend.
Couldn't make it somehow. I don't know. It was great, though.
It was probably all the COVID stuff because people couldn't make it. But
I'm sure that was it.
Mitch keeps threatening that he's going to invite Adrian Barbeau to Terrific. I'm like, yes, please.
Needs to. Yeah. Speaking of COVID, here in New York, I heard this on the news yesterday. They canceled the New York Auto Show at the Javits Center for the end of August. Usually it's at the end of August, and I'm like wondering what that forebodes for future shows.
Totally.
Is it
These are
October?
happening. Yeah.
And New York Comic Con, is that in
New
October?
York is October, and then 2 weeks later is Baltimore, and I'm scheduled to do both. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
I booked my hotel for New York.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I'm confirmed to have a free trip out there for the Ringos because I was
Hello, Ringo.
Ringo.
Like Ringo.
I think I'm going to best mop top. I want to give this award. Thank you.
That's not. I saw a video of the Beatles, and they were saying that's not very American. And John Lennon says, "Well, we're not American." I thought that was funny.
I never said that Lex Luthor was bigger or greater than Superman.
I agree with Andy. I'll be shocked if they all come off too.
Yeah, we'll see. I know it's like 50. And I got to be honest. I don't know how you feel, Francis. And again, Terrificon's a great show. Mitch is awesome. I love going. I'm glad I went. I do feel like I dodged a bullet because of the numbers are ramping up again.
Did you see Lollapalooza? The pictures for Lolla?
Oh, yeah, that looked crazy.
Nuts, man. You can't even see the grass. They're in the park, but you cannot see the ground.
That's Lolla.
It's so crowded. Yeah.
Well, the thing that amazed me, not just at the show, the people were pretty good, but there were still a few at the convention, Mitch's convention. But walking around in the casino, I was shocked at how many kids I saw. Because, at 2 a.m, we were drinking milkshake, and there's 10-year-old kids running around while their parents are gambling and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, there's some good parenting happening there.
Exactly.
But how many kids under 12 years old not wearing masks? And it's a little frightening, actually. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen?
Did they have bourbon in those milkshakes?
Lollapalooza is always packed. Like Johnny was saying, that's not far from where we live. And I did go one year. Paul McCartney was there, and it was me and the 930 crowd was at that show. It was good. It was good. But,
crowd.
Yeah, he really liked to say the word too, Lollapalooza. He got up there, he's like, right, okay, everybody, we'll hear it, Lollapalooza. And he kept saying it over and over again. He just loved the word. It was a good show. He's a good man.
It was a good one.
Paul McCartney. I wouldn't want to be there though. I was looking at the footage. I was getting palpitations just looking at the footage.
Yeah, I don't want to walk anywhere.
Yeah.
It was like there was more than 5 people in your apartment, Skoke. That's what it would be like.
When I worked downtown at the radio stations, we'd always get the foot traffic to and from Lala in our neighborhood and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense.
I went to the White Sox game over the weekend last Sunday.
Cool. Who'd they play?
They played the Indians. And my aunt rented a skybox. We had the skybox, and the whole family was in the booth. And we had tables, chairs, and couch benches. It were soft chairs. We had a waitress. We had the food spread out. We had a fridge with all the stuff in there. And the first moment, we're all settling in. We're eating our sandwiches, beef sandwiches, and hot dogs and stuff. We're all sitting, and then somebody says, we'll probably get a foul ball. And they're like, no, it's not going to get hit. And like 5 seconds later, the ball came real fast and hit off of the chairs no one was sitting at. Bam! Real hard. And it scared everybody. And my one little cousin, he's about 6 years old, the ball rolled right between his shoes, and he picked it up and just said, Mommy, look what I got. So it was real cool. So it was his very first game, and he got a ball. Like, he didn't even know it just rolled.
Did you run over? Did you run over and grab it from him and say, "Yeah"? Go to the camera like, "I got it."
You can't hit that. You see that
push him down, grab the ball.
Yeah.
I remember a blooper where the father catches the ball and he's got a kid in his arm and stuff, and he gives the ball to the kid, and the kid's like,
yeah, and he throws it. Yeah, that's what I was worried. I thought the kid was gonna, because he had him and his little brother. So he's like 6, his brother's like 4. And they were giving the ball back and forth, and they put it in the cup holder. So when they put it in the cup holder, they couldn't get it because the ball was perfect. So their fingers. So they got it out. Finally, I thought he was going to throw it over the wall, but they didn't. I was like, he's going to throw it away. But then it was okay. And when the little kids like that, when you go and tell the Sox that it's their first game, they go to the kids area or whatever, and they give them a whole bunch of free stuff. They got like shirts, batting gloves, and little beach towels and banners and flags and books, coloring books. So they came back with a whole bunch of stuff, and he got the ball, and he had a beef sandwich, hot dogs in the booth, and they had beer. No, they didn't drink beer.
You should have definitely taken the ball. If that kid got that much stuff, he wasn't going to miss the ball.
Come on, I'll trade you. Yeah, but it was pretty fun. Yeah, it was real good.
No, it's great. No, they're grooming a customer.
Yeah.
You'll be back.
Wayne is heading to the Delta Quadrant of Las Vegas on Sunday for the Star Trek convention.
You have to go and Migo's going to have a booth there.
Good luck.
Say hi to Dr. Migo. They're going to show the new Star Trek figures. So go and tell him I sent you. Tell him Art says hi. Or if you don't have to. But if you
want beef.
Yeah, bone beef, Joe.
Do you know what brand of beef it was, Artie? Do you know what company?
I do. Wait a minute. What was it?
Beef?
It was either Buona. Yeah, it was Buona.
I kind of figured it'd be Buona. I could see Buona like throwing the cash down.
It's always either Buona or Scala. I think it was Buona.
I love Al's. And
Al's beef's great.
Mr. Beef, of course. God, I went. That was sad during COVID. I was downtown driving around, and right before you get back on the expressway, you pass Mr. Beef's on Orleans.
Yeah,
and that's like even Jay Leno, even like.
Yeah, he went there. Yeah,
I used to work.
Mr. Beef is cool because they have one. Like you got a place that you have one spot, but Al's Beef is several.
Oh yeah,
Portillo's has several, but when you get one, that's Al's Beef. No, we're here. Boom. They have.
I live right between.
Being from outside of Chicago, the only one I know that is good is if I saw it on diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Oh yeah.
Well, I live right between. On one side of where I live, there's an Al's Beef, and then on the other side of where I live, there's the Portillo's off of Addison and stuff.
Yeah, and you know what I found out? Like I went all my cousins. My aunt invited all her nephews, so it was all our adult cousins. We're all dads. Some of us are grandpas, and when there's you see your cousins once a year, but you grew up with them, but you still only see once a year, and you don't know like, hey, how's it going? And once you run out of stuff to talk about, I always mention, hey, did you try this beef sandwich place? And they're like, yeah, and everybody talks about the food. Everyone, like, especially we're all big Chicago guys, and I might be considered the small one, So, but when we all still start talking about pizza and beef and hot dogs and everyone has a great time. It's real cool. That's how you could break the ice. Which
Mr. Beef place does not have hot dogs, believe it or not.
No,
really?
Yeah,
they don't need them. There's a hot dog place. That's
man. And also there was such a lean operation. They need to only have like one thing and stuff.
Yeah, especially when you're one place. When you start branching out and getting other things, then you kind of ruin it. I don't know if Al's Beef has hot dogs or not.
They do.
Did they? I never ordered anything besides a beef.
The only thing that drives me nuts is I don't want fries, and you cannot order just a hot dog at Al's. You have to. It's a combo.
It comes with fries.
Combos.
Yeah,
and it's
like Nikki's hot dogs are like that. Yeah.
Suck it up and take the fries, Johnny.
No,
See, now I want hot dogs.
Wrigley Field now offers veggie dogs at the park, but it makes me wonder what kind of toppings you put on there. Meat?
Yeah.
Like why would someone want a veggie dog that tastes like meat anyway?
As opposed to drag it through the garden, meaning put all the vegetables on it. It's drag it through the slaughterhouse and put all the meat on it and everything.
Yeah. Just give me a hot dog without the hot dog.
Bits. Yeah, bacon bits.
We Artie and Skoke, we should and then Francis should do it for New York, and Scoot should do it for beautiful Toledo. But we should put like our favorite food joints in our cities. That'd be a good idea.
There's good ones.
Paco.
My favorite. It's easy. My favorite Italian joint is my mom's house. She's still cooking.
Yeah,
your mama.
You're right.
Your mama's.
Mm-hmm.
Mama's.
Yeah.
That reminds me. I saw in the trade newspapers that Lucy Arnaz is going to take all these different interviews that Lucille Ball did in the '60s for CBS Radio. And they were 10-minute celebrity interview segments. And like the headline was, even, Lucy and Desi invented the way to shoot sitcoms. And now apparently she invented the podcast. And it's funny, but I guess Lucy Arnaz has the original recordings that were a lot longer than the 10-minute edited versions that were there for network radio.
The daughter, Lucy Arnaz?
Yeah, Lucy's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And also married to Lawrence Luckinbill, a.k.a. Cybok from Star Trek 5.
That you did a word balloon with.
A recent word balloon guest. She was incredibly nice. So I gotta email Cybok and see if I can get Lucy on to talk about her mom's stuff. It's going to be
my
on
sister, Cybok.
But I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm like, because I really wanted an excuse to ask Lucy to come on anyway. Given that the husband had such a good time, I'm like, maybe he'll put in a good word for the wife with me and everything. Hey, maybe I can throw one to the wife.
Speaking of all these restaurants, do you want to know how Italian my parents are? So I went over there. I had breakfast this morning at about 8 o'clock. I had pancakes, and then I went for a walk, and I went to my parents' house around 10 o'clock, okay? And they were eating lunch at 10 o'clock in the morning. And do you want something? No, I don't want something. So me not wanting something meant I sat down, had a plate of pasta with shrimp and eggplant at 10 o'clock this morning. So that was my
probably
day.
up since 4.
They were up since 4.
We're gonna have dinner at 4 in the afternoon, so that makes sense. That's all right.
So yeah,
we're hungry now.
Yeah, but I'm like, no, I don't want any food. And my wife and I went over just to say hi, and yeah, exactly. So
my family is like that too, because my dad's side of the family is 100% Italian and some Sicilian, and it was always like food. Everybody eat more. Yet there was a candy dish on the coffee table that you couldn't touch,
right?
Like for some reason, like
I can explain that.
Please explain it to me, because I could never understand.
Okay, so the candy is probably from their wedding, and it was decorative, and it's like they got married in 1960 something apparently, or 70 something.
Apparently,
yeah. If you eat that, you would die. And it would have no taste. It would like turn to like dust in your mouth.
Is it that gross kind of grandma cook candy, like like the peppermint with the one red stripe through it? That's like kind of, it's not a round peppermint like the old ones. It's just one like band of red or whatever.
Yeah, or like ribbon candy or something weird.
What did Dante say, Francis? That was long. I didn't have a chance to read.
Yeah, he's talking about
on 14th Street and Avenue A.
Yeah,
they come to meet up the mini gyro spit at your table. It's good for 4 people and just delicious experience. That sounds awesome. And this awesome Detroit style pizza place, Lions and Tigers and Squares on 23rd. Okay, I got to be honest. Well, I don't mind the shape of the Detroit pizza. I guess it depends what's in it. It's like that in St. Louis pizza. I'm like,
it's thick. It's like pizza bread almost.
Yeah, it's really thick pan. No, it is.
The thickness.
There is no bad pizza anywhere.
No, it's just
Pizza
different.
Hut sucks.
Not if you get the chicken.
Yeah.
Get the chicken barbecue pizza. Oh my god! But you got to eat it there.
Does Harold's have pizza?
Oh, they don't need it.
They're gonna have pizza next time we go.
Did they have cheese in that place?
Speaking of food, Scoot's not here, but we should ask him about it. I'm pretty sure Scoot's brother won an Emmy for his food
that's
show.
Right. Yeah, he did for his food.
So, they're not called the Emmys in Toledo. They're called the FARs.
And he's doing an episode about Pacos.
It's Klinger in a dress holding the globe instead of the regular Emmy lady.
We were on that Emmy award-winning guy show.
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations to Scoot's brother Tim.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Hey, now accepting the award for Scoot's brother, Jamie Farr.
Yeah, he really is. He's to celebrate.
But you know what? Bet it wasn't an official Harold's, Kevin, because that was the cool thing on Chicago Public Radio. They did a whole profile of Harold's, and they're like, back in the day, Harold, with the guys behind Harold's, would just give the franchises to people, and there are so many places. Exactly, fake Harold's. There are a lot of fake Harold's out there that really weren't official Harold's.
See, I'm glad I had the Artie guide to bring me to the official Harold's, because I would have went to one of the fake ones.
No, you got official.
Yeah, those are the authentic Harold's. The one by Columbia College and the one with the bulletproof glasses.
When the employees don't care about you, that's the awesome.
Those are the Harold's ones.
That's the official Harold's.
Yep.
You say you don't have diet soda? No. What do you got? We got Red Pop. All right, I'll take it.
You know, it's the official one when they don't care about you. The fake ones, they care about you too much because they're trying to stay in business. The real ones, they don't care about you.
Like Kevin said, like they were offering pizza and other things. It's like, no, that's not.
No, that's not. You don't need it.
No,
you don't need pizza. You want pizza? Go somewhere else.
Is the kitchen open? Yes. Well, no, the kitchen is not open.
That's not dinner.
It's not dinner.
Fake
I like
Dan
Ed's
Lee's
comment. Fake Harold's, fake Dan Lee's, Mamma Mia.
That's right.
Which is
Everything's
fake
fake.
ABBA, of course,
You're
if
in
you
a
go see
fake
the
world.
play and you're getting ABBA music, but you're not getting ABBA singing.
Oh, that's right. Mamma Mia. That was
Apparently,
Pierce
if you go
Brosnan.
Mamma Mia 2.
It was deep.
Yeah.
They're making
Because there was
another
so many
one.
unexplained questions in the first
They already
one.
made another one.
Had to-
Yeah.
Merle Street.
Did you guys hear Pierce Brosnan sing in that movie?
Did he?
I'm
He
afraid.
sing. He
I'm
sings
afraid I
in
took
there.
it.
How did he sound? What song did he do?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen the movie. I'm just aware.
Look that up.
Did they sing the
just
same
aware.
ABBA songs or different ones?
Well,
'Cause
yeah, I
they
don't
sing
know.
the hits in the first one.
Yeah,
I never saw it.
That's why the second one didn't do well. They sing all the non-hits.
They sing the other
Second
ones.
was-
Now, did Pierce Brosnan take his shirt off? Was he
Probably.
shirtless?
Mhm.
Is that his thing?
So I remember him surfboarding. That's the
God,
last time
maybe.
That's the last time I saw that man in a movie was when he was surfing on a digital
Well, he's
water.
shirtless. He's shirtless in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah,
I don't know if I saw that.
finally.
Hello, dear.
That was with Robin Williams.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Uh-huh.
he's saying SOS with Meryl Streep. So can't you hear me, darling? Can't you hear me, SOS?
I mean, I'm sure
I'm
it's.
James Bond, darling. Yeah.
I'm sure it's
I'm
really
never-
good.
Never gonna see that.
When
movie.
you're gone,
Never.
oh, I try. How can I?
Never
There's
gonna
so
watch
many
it.
things I'm never gonna watch. I
Never
see
gonna
the
watch it.
trailer.
Oh, and he
Don't
he
care.
also sang with When All Is Said and Done.
Mm.
So
How
there
about
you
the
go.
winner takes it all?
He did not. Who did the winner? Somebody's got it. Meryl Streep sings "The Winner Takes It All."
Fine.
Here, I've got the soundtrack list here. If you'd like to see, like if
I
you
would
throw
love
out
to hear it all.
An ABBA title, I will tell you who sang it.
How about
Take a chance. Take a chance on
how
me.
about Anna Kendrick? Is she in there? She seems like she'd be in there.
No, she did the
Anna
cup
Kendrick
song.
is not, but Amanda Seyfried is on.
Cybok.
She's got a very sexy version of "Hey There, Little Red Riding Hood" that she does.
Hey, David, a red. That one.
Yep, she does. She does a really good job with it. I don't see "Take a Chance on Me."
Really?
There it is. There it is.
Ching.
Colin Firth,
First. Is that his
Stellan
name?
Skarsgård, who was the scientist in Thor.
Uh-huh.
I think his dad may have had a speech impediment when he goes, "How many sons do you have?" I got 3. Here's my first one, and here's
Yes.
my second.
Who does "Knowing Me" and "Knowing You"?
You think people with lisp get mad on "May the Fourth be with you" day?
How do they not do "Knowing Me" and "Knowing You"? Maybe that's in the second one.
That was bad. I'm gonna get canceled now.
You can cut that out.
We'll edit that out.
We'll
Nobody else
edit
did
that
it.
out later. May the Fourth be with you. Hey,
So it's in the second movie.
I don't know. I'm never gonna watch.
Waterloo's in the second movie.
Never gonna watch the first one either.
Who sang Waterloo? Was it Napoleon?
It was Lily James and Hugh something. Hugh Skinner?
Jackman. Hugh Jackman.
Oh, Lily James is in the second one?
Yeah, Hugh
Jeez,
Skinner.
I don't know who any of these people are, Johnny.
Yeah, neither do I.
Lily James.
Hugh Jackman did a one-man show, I think in 2018 or 19. It was just him singing.
Oh no,
Yeah.
he was a big singer in Australia before he became Wolverine.
He does Broadway shows every. He's doing another one coming up
Well,
soon.
and wasn't the Barnum movie a musical?
One
Mhm.
step.
I don't think
Back
he was
down.
in it though. On
I thought
Broadway.
he played Barnum. I thought he played P.T. Barnum.
It might have been a
Not,
different.
not on Broadway, the movie.
Yeah, in the movie, but not on Broadway. Yeah.
One.
But I'm saying
Speaker,
that
there's
wasn't that a
sensation.
musical.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I'll
didn't
go
see
with
that
you.
one.
Never
I'm
gonna
gonna
watch
say
it.
no.
I'm
I
never gonna
recorded
watch
it 4 times and never got to it. Like someone kept deleting it. Why?
But
does
I know
someone keep
he and
recording?
he and what's her face used to be married to Tom Cruise. Nicole
Katie
Kidman.
Holmes.
Nicole Kidman. Out of the side of my labia. Nicole Kidman.
Who's married to Nicole Kidman? Hugh Jackman?
Tom Cruise was.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought you said he and Tom Cruise were married to
Hugh
Katie Holmes.
Jackman. I'm saying Hugh Jackman and I couldn't think of her name. The one that was married to Tom Cruise. Nicole
Oh, I
Kidman,
see what you're saying.
They did a lot of Australian music
Hello.
before they crossed over here.
You could just.
That's what it is. The Boy from Down Under was his one man show.
Or the boy from Oz, right?
Yes.
I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
He was the lead in The Music Man on Broadway
I don't know
and
what
is
any
waiting
of this
for
is.
Broadway to reopen and do his next. Sure he is.
Yep. That's right.
He'd be
The
good at
Music
that.
Man.
I follow him on the Instas, and he puts up dancing rehearsal videos from his upcoming show.
Oh, that's cool. So, whenever I think of Music Man, of course, I think of Robert Preston and the man from The Last Starfighter. Greetings, Starfighter. Let me tell you about a trouble right here in River City.
I was in that in high school.
That rhymes with P and that stands for pool.
See, that's one of those things where no one knows what you're talking about.
I know.
I do because I was in it.
What did you play in the Music Man?
I was one of the guys on the train in the beginning.
Oh, nice.
You can talk.
Did you, whatever. At the end of the scene, did you take your clothes off and go streaking?
Madam Librarian, I'm naked.
That would have sold everything out. They would have been lining down the street.
You're being a little generous there, aren't you? You would have sold everything out, really? I don't know about that.
I mean, that's going to get people in the seats. They would have heard that.
Speaking of Hugh Jackman, I couldn't fall asleep, so I'm watching BBC America in my hotel room, and I caught the first 20 minutes of Van Helsing. That was all right.
I watched that too.
I love that movie. It's hokey that I love it.
Yeah, see, I like that too.
Yeah, it was silly, but I'm like, yeah, this is fun.
He had long hair and a trench coat shooting.
Wasn't Kate Beckinsale in that?
Yes.
Yeah, Kate Beckinsale.
I like some of that. They had a cool transformation scene with the vampire. I'm so used to vampires visiting me.
The beginning, all the black and white stuff, I thought was really cool. Before it went to color.
Yeah,
I like it.
I thought his hair was really good in that movie.
He has beautiful hair,
flowing
locks,
Yeah.
I kind of hope he does come back as Wolverine in whatever X stuff and the MCU has planned.
He should come back as an old man Wolverine in the MCU.
Old man Wolverine.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They should bring them all back. I'd like to see Halle Berry come back, say same stuff.
Yeah.
James Marsden.
Do you know what happens to a frog when it gets struck by lightning?
It gets cold. Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, well, I screwed up the line. The same thing that happens to everything else. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that again. This is her
I'd rather watch Swordfish again. Just parts of it.
Yeah.
Which parts?
Both
the part by the pool. Yeah.
I think they should bring back the.
I'm a book lover, Scott. I'm a book lover.
It's cool to see the same. Yeah, there's Apocalypse actors, the Storm from that movie. They should bring back to keep the cast.
None of that's going to happen, Artie.
They should do a Toad spinoff with Ray Park.
I think the only one that has a chance of coming back is only Hugh Jackman.
Ray Parker Jr. should be back.
Ray Parker
who played Sabretooth. Who played Sabretooth in those
Lee Schreiber.
Three guys.
Tyler Mane.
Oh, no. That's right.
The
first Tyler whatever.
Tyler Mane.
Yeah, Wolverine Origins was
Tyler Mane. That's right.
When I met Tyler Mane, and somebody called me over. Hey, this is Tyler Mane. I think it was you, Franco. And the first thing I said to him, "You're a mutant, a stinking mutant." And then he told me, "You could get out. You could leave now." I'm like, "All right." I turned around. That's the first thing I said. That's all I said.
Already making friends again.
Yeah, and he goes, "All right, you could go."
Stan wanted Tyler Mane to be Thor.
Oh, that would have been cool.
He kept saying, he's like, "You're my Thor. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're my Thor."
That's when Stan wasn't allowed to make those decisions. So
yeah, luckily. Step back, Stan.
They should have asked Dan Lee. He
would have said, "Yeah, Stan."
Dan Lee.
Dan Lee.
Henry Golding.
That was Dan Lee casting the movie. Hey, I'm Dan Lee, and I'm casting the new ZMU.
I want Ray Park for and Wolverine and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. You're a better Dan Lee than Dan Lee is.
The Ray Park has a really high voice too, like Darth Maul.
Watch me spin this lightsaber.
Darth Maul's voice is so low, but Ray Park is like.
They should have Ray Parker Jr. I'd like to see Ray Parker Jr. play Darth Maul. It's something strange. You start singing.
Don't slice me in half. Now I'm gonna have spider legs.
I kind of want Dan Lee to cast the new MCU now. You know, like he'd pick like Hayden Christensen to play, Wolverine or something like that.
Who are you gonna call? Darth Sidious. We could just paint them all red.
Check out my double lightsaber.
I think Adrian Zemed would be a good Hank Pym.
Richard Simmons.
Zemeck.
Richard
The
Simmons
Marvel-
as
the
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 Marvel-
Marvel universe. I love it.
Narvel.
They should just have
cut right there.
They should do that
Hi,
ice
I'm
cream place
Bode.
Carvel.
I'm a mutant. How you doing? I got a very long tongue, Deborah.
I want
see. It
Corey
says so-
Feldman.
I got no problem with Claremont's feeling that Sabretooth should have been Wolverine's father. I think it would have made more sense, frankly.
They always alluded to it in the comics.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's what
they always hinted that Sabretooth was also Nightcrawler's dad.
Yes.
That's what they kind of alluded
Wow.
to.
Well,
Sabretooth
it wasn't
really got around.
They never. Well, he was.
Mystique's Nightcrawler's mother, right?
Yeah, yeah. They did that in the comics. She gave him up for adoption, and she got rid of. She tried to get rid of him, like Moses style, threw him down the river, stuff like that. Yeah, but it came out that Sabretooth was his dad, and Sabretooth had that. There was another politician, something Creed, who was Sabretooth's son.
I love the Ten Commandments movie, but it is hard to take it seriously when you got Edward G. Robinson and Vincent Price running around in this great biblical epic. And plus, Chuck Heston, of course, says Moses.
How you doing?
And of course, Yul Brenner as Ramsey, Moses. You must leave, Moses.
I want to kiss you.
Would you like to
Moses.
dance? The king and I would like to dance.
That's right, Charlie Dance. That's right.
Is that I Love You, Slave Boy? Was that one?
What's that?
I Love You, Slave Boy? Is that one? Or is that
that's Spartacus. That's Spartacus.
I'd like to kiss you, Doctor.
Hi, my lord. Let me rub some of these leeches on your back to help you bleed, my lord.
Yeah, this was the Ten Commandments. So it was Charlton Heston. Hey, Pharaoh, let's make out type thing.
Right.
Miranda, I want to
Let my
kiss you.
people go, Ramsey. Moses, you dare to come back to the house that fed you, and now you slap it back with arrogance, Moses.
Let's make out, Moses.
We had to watch that every year.
You had
Yeah,
Edward G. Robinson was one of the Israelites followers, but they lose faith in him, and they're like, Moses, he represents a fake God. We're gonna have our own God.
Hit him with the
Yeah,
grapefruit.
see? Yeah.
And they make the golden calf, and they're all going to worship the golden calf, and that's when Moses throws the 10 commandments at the golden calf. Very exciting. Good pyrotechnics for 1959.
It's just F this donkey.
All right, I'm Nightcrawler. How you doing? I'm in a Banff right now. Listen, I don't mean to bother anybody. I know I look like a demon, but I'm just a blue guy that likes to Banff. You know, I enjoy Banff.
You got arrested for bamfing in public.
Put the Banff down, Nightcrawler.
When he bamfed, they would say it smells like fire and brimstone.
Brimstone, yeah.
Somebody's cooking. Oh.
Can I
like to
address
that
someone?
movie,
Is that a problem? Is someone not going to like that? I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such films as The Erotic Adventures of Hercules. And Dial M for Murderousness.
Murderousness.
And then or you may remember me from such driving instructing films as The Decapitation of Leadfoot Larry. And Alice Through the Windshield Glass.
Where's your Moses now? See? Yeah, see?
That's what Billy Crystal used to always do. Alan Aldous Nightcrawler.
That's a lie. Harry went to war. Every man on that transport died.
Harry didn't save them because you didn't save Harry.
Who would Jimmy Stewart be in the Marvel universe?
Probably Cyclops, I think. Jane.
What about Magneto?
Sorry about that. My visor slept a little bit there, Gene. I didn't mean to singe your hair.
That's all right. Wolverine has healing power, I tell you.
He'd be Magneto, wouldn't he? Or he'd be Mace Windu in Star Wars. Yoda.
Let him do his Jimmy Stewart. Go.
Oh, no. I want to make things stick together now.
You're screwy.
Mm-hmm. And that goes for you, too.
You can lift things with your mind and use the
Who would
Force.
Bill Cosby be? Would he be Goliath?
I think Bill
There are
Cosby.
few characters I could be, you see.
I'd make him Professor X.
I'd make him Stilt Man. Bill Cosby a Stilt Man.
Come to me, my X-Men, as I sit here in Cerebro, you see.
My blanket's on my legs.
Come to me, my X-Men. Come to me.
That's what he says.
Come to me.
In the early comics, Xavier was in love with Jean Grey when
Right.
she was 16-year-old.
She was like, yeah, kid.
Yeah.
16-year-old.
Hey, Perv. Hey, way to go, Professor X.
But that's the way.
Way to
That
get
was
canceled,
allowed.
Professor X.
But that was you could do that back then.
I understand.
In the 60s.
Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis, man. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? I
She's
didn't know
13,
she was 13.
finally.
She was 15.
Yeah, bring her on over. She's ready. Yeah, that's what he said. And he played the piano for her.
How you doing,
Line
Mama?
on fire.
No, that's Jose Feliciano.
Oh, I'm
That's the
sorry.
difference.
Well, somebody
Great
was lighting
balls of
fire.
was Jerry Lee Lewis.
Balls. Why is it balls?
Lights my fire.
Great
lights my fire,
testicles of
lights my
fire. Testicles on fire.
Great testicles of fire.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my testes.
What did he say?
Is that
Chicken
you
in the barn.
Is that you and McGregor saying that?
You got chicken in my
Which one?
barn. What barn? Whose barn?
You shake my
My
balls
barn.
and you rattle my testes on the gun.
I have the high ground. Can't you see my balls? On that note, I think we better get out of here before we
All
cause any more trouble.
Yeah,
Who's
I've
barn?
got
What
dirty
barn?
jokes, but I can't say them on the air.
They're gonna
My
take
Yeah.
us
I'll tell you
away.
guys afterwards.
Well,
Well,
also
and,
we didn't get to ghost stories, but we'll do that
Son
next
of a-
time.
Oh,
I know.
No, I got a lot of them. I got more.
I
We'll
got
I
get
might have had one developing today. Something was going on here.
Yeah,
I'm not
We'll-
sure.
we'll get to it next time. We'll get to
hey,
it.
if you haven't joined the I Like Pink Very Much Lois Facebook group, you should do that.
Yeah, do it right now.
It's true.
Because that's where these shows are live and on the YouTubes. So
Like
Yeah.
and subscribe.
That's where the Oh Yeah podcast community lives.
it's true.
Go
There's
do it.
alerts and notifications. I just watch a lot of YouTube videos, so I know what to say, but I don't know how to do all these things. Press
Hit
like,
the like button.
notifications. Yeah,
And the subscribe button.
and the thumbs up. Give us thumbs up because every thumb up counts.
Press
Before we go,
press like and you get the notification bell. Hit the notification bell.
Yeah, the
Right.
bell.
so you don't miss a thing. And I just quickly want to say congratulations to my brother and his wife. They are going to have a small human child in February. So.
Wow.
Oh, they should name the kid Emmy so they can say they have an Emmy.
Yeah,
And
they have an
named
Emmy.
the kid Jamie Farr
Name it Jamie Fire.
Maybe.
with a hyphen.
Emmy Jamie Farr Campabasso.
Well, yeah. Congratulations to Uncle Skoke now too,
Oh.
because you're going to be an uncle.
Oh, is that part of
Uncle
it?
Skull.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that your
wow.
first niece or nephew, Skoke?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you
Will
go.
be my-
Uncle Skulk.
will
You're
be
gonna
my
have to-
first.
You're the uncle, so you're going to have to get them their first comic book T-shirt and all that stuff. That's what you're going to have to do.
Yeah, be the cool, fun uncle.
That's what I did.
Buy him stuff that makes noise.
Yeah.
They,
Buy him things
hey,
when
they
they're
got to
little
meet.
kids.
Well, you got to be careful with that because then it can retaliate. Because if he ever gets married and has kids, then that comes back to haunt you. So
Yeah.
you do
Well,
that to the
I sent my nephews to their first Comic-Con, and they had their own Lou Ferrigno story in the bathroom. It combined our favorite subjects of Lou Ferrigno stories and bathroom stories. That I'm like, we are not separate because they were little kids, and I was paranoid because I was the adult in charge, and I'm like, we are not separating. If somebody wants to see something, we're all going to see it because the oldest one had his best friend with him, so there's 3 little kids. I'm like, if one of us has to go to the bathroom, we're all going to the bathroom.
We're all going together, same bowl.
And I literally, so I did that. So we're in there, and the Hulk and the 2 kids. Sure enough, because one kid's like, "It's a good idea, I'll go too," which I figured that was going to happen with kids. But we're sitting there, and Lou Ferrigno walks in, and he pees, and they're like, "The Hulk's peeing." We're watching the Hulk. So, but then he finishes,
It was
and
green.
I'm like, "So how about that, man? You guys get to see Lou Ferrigno pee?" And the oldest kid goes, "How about that Lou Ferrigno didn't wash his hands when he was done?"
Yeah.
I'm like, well, now that's even a bigger moment that you guys will always remember. And seriously, like, he's 28 now, and he's like, remember when we saw Lou Ferrigno and he didn't wash his hands after he peed? I'm like, yes, I did.
I am the Hulk. Yeah.
The gamma rays keeps him.
He's
keeps
probably
his
in a very
hands
big busy. I'm sure Mr. Ferrigno is a very hygienic man.
No. No, he's not. I know some other creators that I will not say,
yeah.
but I know if you notice who I don't shake their hands, not even a fist bump. Like,
On that note,
Mhm.
have a good night, everybody. Ghost
You
stories
guys are
next
awesome.
time. We promise. We promise.
Awesome.
I missed the part where I get to talk during the credits in the first part.
Follow us when you see us. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye.
There it is.
I got it. Okay, bye-bye.